Alright, I can't really wait much longer, so let's just get this show on the road. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, everyone. Hopefully all y'all are doing well. Oh, hey, Maddie. How you doing? Today is a very rare stream. Sunday. Sometimes I usually don't do streams today. But I feel like today was probably the best day to do it. You know, based on the shit I was doing. I finished an exam and then I, had to do a lot of stuff yesterday. I was gonna stream yesterday, but then I just got like really fucking tired. And I'll explain why in a second, but like, man. Oh, life is gonna be fun for the next month for sure. But yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome one, welcome all. I'm just moving some shit around, don't mind me. But yeah. So hopefully everyone's doing great. Hopefully everyone had a good week. I know y'all missed me not seeing me on Friday and Saturday. You don't lie. But yeah, I've been kind of... Hey, Mephi, how you doing? I've been kind of, off and on for the most part. Oh, wow, my volume's way too loud. I've been kind of off and on for, like, the most part in Discord, Twitter, everything, just because I've been studying my ass off for the past week. So let's go over just a few housekeeping things I want to talk about, because I am diving into something brand new this next month. And the brand new thing is called a shift schedule. You guys know what a shift schedule is like, right? You just get put down for times, you gotta go in. It's not like a 9 to 5 job where you go in at 9, you leave at 5, and then everything's fine and dandy. No. I am going to a rotation where I'm gonna be doing shifts every single fucking day, except for the weekends. So let's just go over the stream timings here. So usually I stream in night times around this time, right? So if I'm free, right, because I don't got to really study for this next month, so if I'm free and I feel like it's a good time to stream, I'm probably just going to drop a stream out of nowhere. Okay, let's just put that out there first. And also, Friday streams may or may not happen. It will most likely be on Saturdays because who knows what my shift is going to be on a Friday and whether or not I'll have the stamina to actually do a stream. So that's its own thing. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, we're just gonna keep playing it by ear. That's the reason why I can stream today, because I don't have a morning shift tomorrow. So yeah. I also went bouldering on Friday. Note to self, actually let me pull up my Twitter for this, because holy mother of God, that shit was terrible for the next day. It was fun when I was doing it though. Let's just be real for that. Yeah, let me show you guys. Oh, I don't have the... Man, let me sign in. Got signed into my Twitter account in this browser, I forgot. I'm in the process of moving my browser from like A to B, so it becomes really fucking annoying. Okay. I made something my profile. Yeah, I was gonna stream last night, but like, that shit's not happening. That was not happening. When I finished dinner, I was so tired, I just wanted to pass out and sleep. That hasn't happened in so long, by the way. I was just dead. Anyways, here's my tweet here. Bouldering is not for the faint of heart. My forearms are beyond cooked. And then this didn't happen. Yeah, so if you guys don't know what bouldering is, just show you guys. You guys probably know what it is. You guys watch the videos, but this is not it. It's basically this shit. Oh wait, you can't see it. Hold on. It's basically this shit. Where you climb a bunch of rocks unassisted. I did it for the first time ever. And yeah, it's a huge upper body workout. I got some upper body strength. All right, I have a lot of upper body strength, but dude, that shit really tests you. And my forearms, yesterday, I quite literally could not make a fist. Even today, I'm still feeling it. Like it actually cramped up. So probably instead of writing on my iPad today, we're probably just gonna be typing on VS Code. Hopefully that's fine with you guys, but it doesn't really matter nevertheless. Okay. So let me set that up here. Yeah, so I just have this up for any notes that we're gonna do. And that's pretty much it. Let's do this. Yeah. You know how doctors say, do as I say, not as I do? This is a big, huge, instance of that. Oh, man. Yeah, but my forearms were actually so fucking sore. Myself and my friends, but it was fun. It was fun though. I really enjoyed it. I definitely would do it again if I could. Like, it's definitely a fun sport to get into, and it was great. I enjoyed all of it, and I definitely got humbled by kids. So yeah. Bro, there are kids that climb like fucking monkeys, man. It's crazy shit. Alright. Let's talk. Alright, so let's go over the topics here. And the biggest topic of today's stream is... I actually was going to talk about like AI browsers and stuff, but turns out Steam decided to shadow drop something this past Wednesday. If I can fucking find it. And it really brought me back into the VR sphere in terms of like researching it. So let me just find Steam's post. Let's just go on YouTube. Okay. So on YouTube, if I go to Steam Frame, bro, this is the one thing I hate about fucking tech and VR, is that all of these fucking videos are the exact same thing, bro. Oh, Valve had made the greatest thing. And I'll explain why, but dude, like, seriously, it's just... I searched Steam Frame, and it's just like fucking 50 different videos. You're like, oh my god, every headset's dead now. It's terrible. Alright, bro. I'll explain. I'll talk about that later. It just fucking annoys the shit out of me when I look at a lot of VR content. Hey, Zataris. Yeah, clickbait. Yeah, it is clickbait. And do I do clickbait? Absolutely, but not to this degree, man. Like, Steam hardware, and here we go. Steam hardware announcement. Okay.
Hey, everyone.
Okay, let me pause this. This is a 6-minute video. Do you guys want to watch it? Actually, no, I think we probably should watch it. It's like 6 minutes. And then I can talk about my thoughts on the stuff, because it might give a nice little overview as to what's going on. Let me pause the music for you guys. Hold on, I'm not hearing it because my fucking shit's bored. There we go. Alright, let me pause the music and let me make sure the video... Yep, perfect. Okay, I love stream scuff, guys. Like, my forearms are so fucking cooked. It's a little... The only thing I can do is, like, barely type because it's so hard. Dude. Be careful when bouldering, man. Actually fucking be careful. It's a fucking mistake. Anyways. Alright, so let's turn off the music. Alright, let's play the video.
Hey, everyone. This is Steam Deck. Steam Deck is our powerful, portable, handheld gaming PC that lets you take your Steam library with you anywhere. We're pretty proud of it. People who own Steam Decks have been playing everywhere, and we couldn't be happier with the response we've heard from all of you. We're excited to talk about the future of Steam Deck, but not today, because this isn't a video about the future of Steam Deck. This is a video about the future of Steam hardware. Today...
Okay, before we continue, I wanna ask you guys, what do you guys think about, like, the Steam Deck? Because I have a lot of opinions about the Steam Deck, and deck size matters. Okay, it makes sense. I have a Switch too. I have a Nintendo Switch. I have a hack Nintendo Switch, a vanilla Nintendo Switch, and a Switch 2. Decks. Oh, that's what you meant. Okay, buddy. Okay. I thought you meant like, oh, the size of the Steam Deck matters for how good it is. No, you're just making it. Okay. No, go ahead. I'm not fucking particular with what people type unless it's like really offensive. I don't give a shit, man. But yeah, so my thoughts on the Steam Deck is that if you like own a Switch or like any type of like portable handheld console already, I feel like it's kind of unnecessary. I was mildly interested in the Steam Deck, but it was not something I really need. Yeah, right? Like, I have a PC. I have a MacBook, right? But I can remote play to my PC whenever I want to, so I can use Steam games that way. But the main console I use when I'm out and about is the Switch, because I have it. I've owned it for a long time, and I like playing Nintendo games. So it's like, despite Nintendo's shitty practices recently, I like playing their games. So it's like, why the fuck do I, you know, why do I need another fucking handheld that I'm never gonna use? I know some people that swear by the Steam Deck. They're like, this is the best handheld ever, etc., etc. And honestly, let me note it down here. Hey Kenzie, how you doing? Let me note it down here. So the Steam Deck has this going for it, right? Portable PC library. Right, so it's a portable PC library. You can take your games anywhere, right? As long as you can play them. We'll get into that later. What is it? Handheld, factor, and then PC on a tablet, assume it, basically. Same thing as a handheld. I guess if one doesn't support Nintendo, a different handheld is an alternative option. Yeah. Well, if I had to choose, Steam Deck would probably be the only portable console I'd pick besides something like NES emulator console that costs like 20. That's fair. But at the same time, I have reasons as to why I like the Switch more than the Steam Deck. And one of the biggest reasons why I like the Switch more is just because it's lighter. It's lighter, slimmer, and just easier to carry. And also Nintendo games, right? I know people are like, oh, but you can emulate on the Steam Deck. Like, yeah, bro, like, emulating, sure, but like, you gotta do extra shit to set that up, no? I mean, Switch 2, I just buy the game, I download it, I play it, and I have fun. That's literally all it is. And that's why, you know, I don't find the Steam Deck for me. Like, if you want, and that's okay, right? A lot of people don't think that. If you want a PC on a tablet, then the Steam Deck is probably a good choice. Right? You want to bring all your PC games on the go. You want everything on Steam. Sure. But if you like your Nintendo exclusives, if you like the form factor of the Switch, then it's kind of a no-brainer that you'd get a Nintendo console, right? I've been a big Nintendo fanboy since since I was young. The nostalgia bait hits me hard. So yeah, I still play fucking Zelda and shit. So yeah, that's what I find. But yeah, I understand like the Steam Deck thing. Like, yeah, it's like this. Oh, it's some unique thing. Kenzie, I mean, I was given a Steam Deck for free, so it's not too bad. Okay, well, if you were given it for free, it's a different story. I mean, paying for it. Listen, I don't get free handouts. You kidding? But yeah, I get it for. I mean, I'd be paying the money for it. Also, the Switch 1 was cheaper than the Switch 2. Like, the Switch 1 was like $300. But the Switch 2 is like 500. So that puts it well in the realm of like Steam Deck territory. It's like, would you rather buy the Steam Deck or would you just buy a Switch? So yeah. Anyways, let's continue. It's a little bit too much of a tangent there. All right, so we're getting new members of the Steam hardware lineup.
We're announcing 3 new members of the Steam hardware lineup. All connect you with powerful PC gaming. All are optimized for gaming with Steam. And all are shipping in early 2026.
So they're coming soon, yeah.
Let's start with this one.
So y'all have probably seen this already, but this is the Steam controller, by the way, just FYI, but let's keep watching.
This is the new Steam controller. The new Steam controller puts all of your Steam games at your fingertips, so you can play wherever and however you want. Just like with Steam Deck, we want you to be able to play any game with your Steam controller, even games never built with a controller in mind. It has all the great features from Steam Deck, like trackpads, gyro, and back buttons, all in a comfortable form factor.
Dude, this music is vibes. But yeah, let me look at the Steam Deck here. Okay. Steam Deck, yada yada yada. I want to just show you guys what the Steam Deck thing looks like. Hold on. Here we go. So if I zoom in, oh geez, fucking responsive website. Okay, so you can see that the touchpad, the layout of the Steam Deck, right? So this, yeah, the touchpad's here, analog sticks, the buttons, D-pad, and oh, we got an ad coming up. Fuck my life. And then we got the ABXY buttons. So yeah, I'll resume it when the ad finishes, but yeah, I'll just keep yapping about this for now. So that's the Steam Deck, right? So it has all of these controls because, as you guys know, we got PC games, right? So PC games, they're fucking annoying in terms of like, you usually play with mouse and keyboard. So the Steam Deck tries to take all of that into account. A lot of games nowadays use controller options, so honestly, it's not really much of a trade-off. But yeah, $500 is a lot for a console. Zataris, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Oh my god. Hey Yo-Yo, how you doing? I hope my new controller is glued to a PC like the original one. Old simply didn't work without Steam running, but it was really cool. That's... Oh, you mean like tethered to the P... Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, tethering a controller to any console specific... Okay, we got an ad. Tethering a controller to any console specifically is stupid, in my opinion. Like, why the fuck would you do that? I saw my Steam Deck, that I saw the announcement of the new thing and want that instead. Rip. Damn, I'll talk to you about that in DMs later for sure. But yeah, let me, for Zataris' sake, let me just look up PlayStation 5. because Ataris might just be a little bit out of the loop in terms of how much this shit costs nowadays. Fucking ridiculous. Let's see. Or am I just stupid? Okay, PS5. What the fuck is the money? I want to pay. Give me your PS5 consoles. Yeah. Yeah, bro. Like $549 for a fucking PS5, bro. Oh my god. Let me just show you. Switch 2. Let's see. How much does this shit cost? Buy. Yeah, this costs $450. The PS5 costs $540. Where is it? Yeah, $540. And then the Xbox, let's just check the Xbox to round out the pile. So the Xbox Series X is the one that, you know, the big boy that Xbox pushes. Okay, ad breaks over. 600. Dude, who is buying this console? I want to know who is buying this console because, as I know, Xbox has fucking barely any games this generation, while Sony has way more and it costs fucking $550. Who is paying $650 for this shit? Dude, what in the actual hell? I blame COVID for inflation. I haven't bought a console in years. Yeah, most people have it, right? Like, okay, there's also the Series S, which is okay. This one's makes much more sense. I think more people buy the Series S because it's just cheaper and it gives you the same shit. So like, yeah, except the disk drive, I guess. So $399 is good. Yo-Yo says, Switch games are way too expensive these days. I wholeheartedly agree. You're paying $70 for a game, and if you're paying for the Switch 2 edition of, say, like, Tears of the Kingdom, you're paying a straight $80. Like, seriously, it costs $70, and now you're paying another $10 for the upgraded visuals and shit. It's insane. Like, game prices are insane. Gaming consoles are insane. Everything's just becoming so fucking expensive that's like, why don't you just buy a PC? Like, seriously. I do buy PC, laptop, and tablet. Yeah, the only console I buy is the Switch. And the reason why is just because of all of the games that the Switch has. That's it. That's literally it. The fact that it's a portable handheld that doesn't feel like the laptop and the desktop thing for me, and it has the games I want. What else do you need, right? That's what I'm trying to say. People living in countries where hardware doesn't change price every single day due to extremely volatile currency. Oh my god, that sucks. I know regional pricing is also a thing. Like, people try to scam with regional pricing. Like, in the US, they try to, like, go to India or something and get the prices from there. I know that's a thing for, like, Discord Nitro, where people buy from, like, Turkey because it's cheaper. Like, they buy a year's worth of Nitro. I don't listen. Power to you. That's good. Go ahead. I'm not gonna stop you, but it's like that is a very, very interesting way of getting stuff for cheap. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, like shit's expensive, Zataris. Like, we're no longer in like, oh, it's like $150. No, it's $500 now to buy your fucking console. Anyways, back to the video. Sorry guys, I'm going on a lot of tangents today.
Its next generation magnetic thumbsticks let you play with improved responsiveness and longevity. We've put capacitive touch sensors on the thumbsticks.
That's pretty
and
good.
now on the back of the controller too, so you can enable precision gyro aiming with the touch of your thumb or your pinky if you're feeling fancy. Play for way too long with a rechargeable lithium-ion battery that allows for over 35 hours of playtime.
Yo, bro, I'm not gonna lie. If your controller isn't rechargeable, I swear to God, what are you doing?
With Steam Controller, we want to make charging and wireless pairing something that's actually easy. That's why we created the Puck. The Puck is a combination wireless adapter and magnetic charger included with every Steam controller. Snap it on to charge.
Cool.
Once you're charged up, snap it off again.
So it's basically a dock,
play over Bluetooth or a wired connection too. The new Steam controller works with any device running Steam or Steam Link. Whether it's a PC, Mac, handheld, smartphone, Steam Deck, or the new Steam machine. Oh, this.
Okay, we're not gonna go to that yet. Okay, good chat. I buy resistive thumbsticks are illegal. Should be legal. Okay, yeah, literally a scam. Got it. So, for those of you who don't know, there are, I think, 3 types of joysticks, thumbsticks, joysticks, whatever, on a controller. So one type is the resistive, like Mephi just mentioned. The second is Hall effect. And the third is TMR. I think 2 and 3 are the same, with 3 being like more of an advantage. I'm not 100% sure. But the one we want to cover here is resistive. Basically, how do I draw this? You have your control stick, right? And then you have 2 graphite pads and the circuits. Or sorry, the electronics. Basically, these 2 pads rub against each other, and it allows the device to know, like, hey, this is how much the player has moved. Unfortunately, since these 2 pads are rubbing on each other, friction comes into account. And eventually, the pads, usually made of graphite, which is what your pencil is made of, wears down. And by wearing down, you start to see drifting. If you guys don't know, the Nintendo Switch has Joy-Con drift. And Joy-Con drift is basically due to the friction between these 2 graphite pads over time, especially with the smaller control stick size, making it very, very possible for controllers to start drifting out of nowhere. Now again, Nintendo doesn't acknowledge that this exists, even though they repair it for free, but it is certainly a thing that's caused a lot of friction, pun not intended, in the community, where people are like, Joy-Con drift makes things suck, or people don't care about, just get new Joy-Cons, whatever. It's just like, yeah, but like, this is a problem, right? The fact that controls can drift. However, I think the same thing here with Hall effect, right? So Hall effect, instead of 2 pads, we have the controller, and it's magnets instead. So basically, the interaction between the magnets, or electromagnetic forces, tells the console, like, hey, this is the direction the player is trying to move in. And since it's all magnet-based, this means that there's no such thing as friction, which means there's no drifting. And I assume it's the same for TMR. Maybe it's more like magnetic type of stuff. But I'm not familiar with it, so I'm not really going to talk about it. But yeah, a lot of controllers are going with these 2, specifically. Nintendo's still going with this one. And this is why Mephi said they should be illegal, because they have a limited lifespan, a very limited lifespan, compared to these 2. In fact, thanks to, hey, how you doing? Thanks, Nintendo. Yeah. And one thing I do want to tell you guys, right? The Switch 2 that I own, right? It still has the same Joy-Cons and joysticks as the Switch 1. So they are still the resistive graphite joysticks. And the reason why is because I think Nintendo probably would have upgraded them to be magnetic Hall effect sensors for sure, except for the fact that these controllers themselves magnetically attach to the Switch 2. So it's like the magnets in the Joy-Cons themselves make it impossible to add a Hall effect stick to here. I got no fucking idea why this is a thing. Why this was the decision that they made. Right? They could have kept the Switch 1 design. They could have kept it. They really could have kept it. It was fine. It was perfectly fine. I had no problems with it. I actually upgraded my Switch 1's Joy-Cons with Hall effect sticks because my friends kept complaining, yo, Bri, the controllers are drifting. I can't win in Smash. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm buying it. I'm upgrading it. This is actually before I started streaming. If I did stream, I would actually show you guys the upgrade process. But yeah, like, now you can't upgrade them because there's literally magnets built into the fucking Joy-Cons themselves. So I don't know what the deal is here. And eventually when these Joy-Cons start drifting after a lot of use, what's gonna happen? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like maybe now it's like a different resistive stick where it's like, oh, it's not gonna drift anymore. But yeah. But let me just talk about one more thing. This is the best controller in the world, by the way. I love this controller so much. Here we go. So this right here is the 8-bit do, the Ultimate controller. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because it's very, very similar to the Steam controller without the touchpads, right? It looks like an Xbox controller. Yeah, that's what it's meant to look like, right? 8-bit do actually has an Xbox version. And it's not like a sponsored thing. I'm not trying to shamelessly promote 8-bit do over here. I just really like their stuff. I really, really like their controllers. I bought my Ultimate and it's like fucking amazing. It's also cheaper than the fucking Nintendo Switch controller. If you guys don't know, the Switch Pro controller is like 80 bucks. It's $80 for a fucking Pro controller. This thing is 60 bucks. And it's like, why the fuck would I buy a Pro Controller when I could get this? I don't know, like, hashtag ad, that's crazy. No, it's not an ad, but I'm just saying, the reason why I'm talking about, though, is because of this dock right here. Hold on, let me scroll up. You see the dock on this thing? And the Steam controller talked about the puck, right? So this thing right here, they have this little dock puck looking thing. It's the same thing as, where the fuck did I put it? It's the same thing as this. Like, you plug in the dock and you could use it to communicate wirelessly and charge at the same time. This is the same fucking design. Like, it's the same thing. It's just like, I mean, if you can't beat him, join him. Come on, man, seriously? I literally own this type of controller already. Also, I want to ask chat. There's two types of layouts on controllers, right? You have like the PlayStation layout where the joysticks are on the bottom and the D-pad's on the top. And then you have like the Xbox layout where the joysticks are like askew type of thing. Which one do you like more? Because I'm a bigger fan of this layout than this one, personally. Like, I like the thumbsticks being opposite. Xbox, right? Yeah, the Switch does this, the 8BitDo does this, but PlayStation and the Steam controller don't. Like, I want to ask Mephi as well, because, you know, you're looking at the Steam controller. Do you like that thumbstick layout where they're both on the same level as opposed to the Xbox layout where they're both on different levels? I didn't realize this would be such a big thing for me until I actually started using these controllers and just being like, Xbox just makes more sense. I like Xbox layout more. A week with any controller would be enough to get used to it. Okay, fair, yeah. It's just that, like, if I convert between Xbox and PlayStation all the time, it's just like, I don't know. I don't know why more people just don't do the Xbox layout. Maybe because they have the touchpad here and it's just like gonna fuck everything up. But yeah, like, I don't know. I don't like the thumbsticks being in the middle like that. It feels weird. I have to like reach out around. I like the main movement thumbstick being on the top left. That's just me being a particular bastard. All right. Anyways, all right. Those are my thoughts, I guess, on the Steam controller. Nothing too big, nothing too fancy. The touchpads make it look kind of weird. Like, you see how controllers like these have a nice grip on them, whereas the Steam controller is a bit fat, a little stubby. I think it has like this small overhang for the touchpads, but like, I don't know, how would people even hold it, right? That's what I'm wondering, because I'd grip my controller all across the circumference of the grips, right? But with here, I have to like, maybe I angle my thumbs on the touchpad or something. I don't know. Maybe Valve probably figured it out, to be honest. Like, it's definitely a controller that'll be compatible with everything, that's for sure. I'd love to see like how much traction this thing gets. Anyways, let's continue, because they're gonna talk about the Steam Machine now. Okay, here we go.
Oh, this is the new Steam Machine.
Okay, fancy.
Steam Machine is a powerful gaming PC in a small but mighty package, designed for your games on the big screen.
Okay.
It's quiet too, which is crazy since it's 6 times more powerful than a Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Powered by a discrete, semi-custom AMD GPU.
Sorry guys, we're cooked. AMD GPUs, I'm kidding. I'll explain why AMD GPU is actually good in this case. I'd probably prefer a Quest 3 style controller if these existed for PC. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's fair. Makes sense. Anyways, continue.
Enabling 4K gaming at 60 frames per second with FSR. Steam Machine runs SteamOS made for a bigger screen, built for gaming in your living room, your office, or wherever you play, with the rest of your PC accessories.
Okay.
Steam Machine borrows some great features from Steam Deck.
Let's pause this. Okay, so we have SteamOS, fast suspend, desktop mode. I don't know why that's a feature. Seamless updates, notifications, and Steam input. Okay, simple stuff.
Lightning fast sleep and wake. An SD card slot to easily
there we
expand
go.
your storage.
Yeah, that makes more
It brings
sense.
some new tricks of its own, like a customizable LED strip, which can show different system functionalities, or your own light show. Steam Machine.
Brother, I get it, but like, do you guys care about that? Really? Like, do you really care about customizing the LED strip on your fucking Steam Machine? Like, personally, I'm not an RGB guy. I dislike RGB. if I have it on, it's just gonna stay there. I'm gonna try and figure out how to turn it off. I'm not an RGB guy in the slightest. It's annoying, but yeah, I guess sure.
Or you're on Light Show.
Okay,
Steam Machine is a PC, so run whatever software you want.
that's pretty
And
cool.
It works with all your favorite
That's pretty
desktop
good.
and gaming accessories. Steam Machine is designed to work hand in hand with the Steam controller, with the low latency, wireless connectivity of the Steam controller puck built right in. And it's great for streaming your games to your phone, tablet, laptop, Steam Deck, or Steam Frame.
Okay, well, we'll talk about the frame in a second. All right, Steam Machine time. Your guys' thoughts? What do you guys think about the cube? It's basically literally just a cube. People on Twitter have been calling it Gabe Cube. Like Gaben Cube. I want a cube. Well, I have a few things to say about that after this video is over, but yeah, cube looks cool. It's definitely smaller, isn't a PC? Yeah, Steam does say it is a PC, right? They don't call it a console, it's a PC. It's literally just a mini PC. That's all the Steam Machine is. So yes, it is a PC. They say it on their page. They're very transparent about it. Like, hey, this ain't your console. This is a place where you can just play games on the big screen. It's just a mini PC for doing that. That's all it is. Because again, Steam is PC gaming, right? In a nutshell. So hold on. So you guys see, I feel like the coolest part about this is that you see this like little refrigerator looking ass thing. This weirdo fucking Tron design looking ass thing. And then the Steam Machine. So this thing is tiny. Did people want this? That's a good question, Maddie. We'll get to that at the end of the video, but this thing is tiny compared to the other stuff. So it's like half of the Xbox, probably a PlayStation stacked next to each other, and it's small. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like it could be used just like a PC, basically. You could just put it on your living room table. So I like the small stuff. That's cool. The LEDs, like whatever. Sure. Like, who fucking cares, personally? I personally don't care about, like, oh, there's an LED, that's pretty cool. Also, like, they featured desktop mode, which is cool, right? But I guess if this is, like, your normal PC, if this is something you're gonna be using instead of buying, like, a full badass rig to do everything on, then I see the point of, like, desktop mode here, right? That makes sense. But other than that, what's the point of it? It's like, it's just gonna be a place to play your games, no? Yeah, so it's a PC, basically. Portability is nice. Okay, so Steam Deck has desktop mode, so you can download non-Steam games. Yeah. That's also true. Like, I feel like that's a bit of a cop-out, personally, but because, I don't know, Steam is, like, supposed to support everything, but yeah, I mean, once you break out of the garden of the Steam big picture, I don't know if it becomes harder or easier to start navigating through the interface. With the Steam Machine, that'll probably be a different story. Right? But also, like, where the fuck is the USB-C? Like, okay, so, oh, there's a USB-C port. Okay, good. That's like, a lot of this has USB-A, which is kind of weird. I thought there would be a lot more USB-C in modern computers, but that's just me, probably. Up your bum, bro. That's crazy. Just like with the AI robot. All right, bro. Okay. The AI robot, Neo, it was confirmed to be on the hips. I asked Rixie, she also covered it, and she did way more research than I did, and it's on the hip, it's not up the ass. Just letting you guys know. They didn't think about it like that. Oh my god, I hate you all. Alright. Let's see. Okay, so let's continue with the Steam frame. Alright. This is the one that everybody is hyped about. I can tell you that for a fact. So we're gonna go through this one's pretty slow. Or maybe not. We're just gonna go through the announcement.
Frame. Oh, yep. This is Steam Frame. Steam Frame is Valve's next generation VR hardware. Stream all your Steam games, VR and non-VR alike, in this comfortable, lightweight, wireless VR headset. Steam Frame uses camera-based tracking, so getting into your games is as easy as slipping on the headset and waking it up. Steam Frame controllers, included with the headset, are designed with all the inputs you need for your VR titles, like motion controls and capacitive tracking for all your fingers, as well as a split gamepad layout to work with your whole Steam library. They even feature the same magnetic thumbsticks as Steam controller for responsiveness and longevity. Steam Frame also pairs seamlessly with the new Steam controller, a great companion for playing non-VR games in the headset. To make sure streaming is smooth and stable no matter what, Steam Frame includes a wireless adapter that lets you stream your games from your PC to your headset over a fast and dedicated Wi-Fi 6 connection. And the game is streamed to your frame optimized for VR, using new technology that allows for the highest resolution streaming exactly where your eyes are looking. And Steam Frame is a PC, running Steam OS. In addition to streaming, you can install and play a bunch of VR and non-VR games right in the headset without a host PC. You can also expand your onboard storage to fit even more games with a micro.
Okay, that's a lot of information. So let me just go back to something I want to talk about. I'm sorry, guys. That was just like a lot of information thrown at me in just like the past minute. Holy shit. Okay. So let's look at this thing right here. Okay. Oh, okay. Fuck you, YouTube. Give me a second.
Frame optimized for VR, using new technology that allows for the highest resolution streaming exactly where your eyes are looking.
Okay. So let's talk about that technology here because it's really interesting. Basically, right, let me open up VS Code here. Eye tracker plus color. Yeah, so basically, this is a concept called foveated rendering. Right, so foveated rendering is utilizing a component inside the VR headset, which is eye tracking, because you're only able to see the area that your eyes can visualize when it comes to VR, right? You're looking through those lenses. But the VR headset itself is going to be ideally rendering at the same pixels for every single part of the frame, basically, right? However, this can be very, very taxing. So let's just do traditional. So the same resolution on every frame and every area. This is very taxing on the headset, right? You need a good amount of compute to do it. And it's also very taxing on battery and less efficient, right? So foveated rendering, we need to think like, hey, maybe we could just render the highest resolution where the player is looking. And to do so, we just add an eye tracking system. And this allows you to see where is player looking. And therefore, the looking area is equal to the highest resolution, whereas the periphery is lower. So lower resolution, basically. So yeah, that's basically what foveated rendering is, and that's the technology that Steam is using to make streaming have less latency, because theoretically, you're streaming much less over that connection because you're only generating high resolution for the spots that need it, right? That's like how the human eye works. Exactly, that's how the human eye works, right? So the VR makers are just like, yo, how about we, take a page from the logical playbook and just be like, okay, yeah, wherever the eye is looking, then that's probably what we should make look best, You're 100% right, Centaurus, you're 100% right. So that's basically foveated rendering versus traditional rendering, right? And it just adds an extra cost of adding an eye tracking system, but it gives more to just, it gives more bang for your buck in terms of efficiency. So it's a pretty good thing, but in reality, like, compute is so good nowadays anyways, it's just like, it doesn't really matter. It's really nice though to have an eye tracking system on a VR headset for other reasons. Foveated is a great adjective. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Maybe I should do a stream about the eye. It's like ancient game devs realize they don't need to render 3D behind player. Yeah, right? Like conditional rendering type of shit. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's foveated rendering in a nutshell. All right, let's continue.
And in addition to games right in the head without a host PC.
Okay.
You can also expand.
Okay, so that just means it's a standalone headset.
Your onboard storage to fit even more games with a micro SD card.
What the fuck happens to the quality?
Steam controller, Steam machine, and Steam frame.
Okay, that's pretty much it. Let's just see. Yep, that's it. Okay. All right then. So that's all of the hardware announcements from Steam. So let's just do a quick summary, right? So we got the Steam controller, the Steam machine, and the Steam frame. All right, which one do you guys want me to talk about first? I kind of talked about the Steam controller ad nauseum, and the Steam machine just a little bit. Oops. But which one do you guys want me to talk about first? I feel like I low-key want to talk about the frame the most, because I'm gonna be yapping a lot about that. Let me just pull up a few web pages just for clarity's sake. Okay. So, I guess I'm gonna talk about the Steam frame first, because I'm... Fuck you guys, but I'm gonna talk about the Steam frame first. Okay. So the Steam frame. Kind of named weird, but it's just basically a VR headset. If you guys don't remember, there used to be a VR headset from Valve called the Valve Index. This was released back in 2019. And it was pretty big at the time. Like, it had all of the bells and whistles and everything. It was like a enthusiast headset, right? Because that's what VR really was. VR was really just an enthusiast product until like the 2020s, after when COVID hit, and VR started to take off because people were stuck at home. The marketing for that name, Steam Frame, yeah, is a doozy. Is dookie. Steam Frame sounds more like a... It sounds more like a... Damn, that's harsh. God damn. Steam Frame feels like an upgrade over Quest 3 hardware-wise. VR titles on Steam are depressing, as well as long-term Valve support for hardware. Okay, Mephi, I'm gonna talk about that, but yes, you are 100%. You are definitely correct there. All right, so let's go over like the Valve Index. So this is 2019. It had it was the enthusiast headset. It had like over-ear speakers. It had top-of-the-line screens. Very good lenses for the time. And it was a PC VR focused headset. Right, so a lot of headsets at the time were solely just PC peripherals because there wasn't really a way to shove a full system into a headset like it would be for a console. VR headset was mainly just a peripheral for the PC. It's like debated, like some people really still want this concept, and others, you know, are okay with the current situation of VR. So the current state of VR is basically, you know, standalone. And there's like a few PC VR, but that's like few and far between, and also very expensive compared to a standalone headset. And as you guys know, the big boys when it comes to standalone and VR in general is Meta, Facebook. You know, your social media, the one that boomers look at. Yeah, Facebook is probably the biggest VR company out there today. Because, and Facebook meaning Oculus, it used to be Oculus, now it's Meta. So yeah, so these are the Oculus headsets, basically. And the Quest 3 is their top of the line flagship, released in 2023. And I own one of these, right? I've been using VR for some time. I actually worked with Unity in them and stuff like that. But yeah, this is probably the most popular and the biggest VR product because they were the first ones, right? They were the first ones to announce like the standalone type of headset ecosystem, and it just took off from there. That's basically it, because people just bought like a $300 headset and they got themselves a full console for VR versus like a headset plus a PC able to run VR. It just becomes a huge headache. Rip Apple Vision. Apple Vision, man. Okay, we got an ad. Apple Vision is just a fucking joke, in my opinion. I mean, it costs way too much money to even matter. It is so expensive. Like, let me go on the Apple website. It's so fucking expensive, dude. Hold on. Get started. I'm not doing that. Fuck off. How much does this shit cost? It costs $3,500 for this fucking headset, man. Who is buying this? Who is buying this fucking headset? $3,000, man. Don't even got controllers or nothing. It's just like a very high-end headset, and that's it. All right, man. Yeah, it's $3,500. I don't think anyone is buying this unless you're like a huge VR enthusiast, man. I don't think anyone's buying this. I'll go over like why the Meta... Okay, we got an ad. I'll go over why the Meta Quest is so popular after the ad. But yeah. $3,000 for a fucking VR headset is nightmare fuel in my opinion. Who the fuck is paying $3,000, man? I see people posting all the time like, oh, look at my Vision Pro, it does all this shit. Dude, you paid $3 grand for this thing, man. I'd rather just buy a MacBook or something. It has way more utility. Actually, you probably even... I don't even know. I'm sorry. Pricing makes me so annoyed at times with stuff like this. Time to buy it. New no food rich mode. Oh my god. I want all the headsets but those 3. Yeah. If you guys give me like 3,500 in like donations, I'd be down to buy one and test it. Yo, guys, fund me. You got doctor salaries, right? Yeah, give me that shit. I wonder like what's the better thing to buy? Would it be better to buy like a GPU for like 3 grand? Or would it be better to buy like an Apple Vision for over 3 grand? Like which one provides more utility? The GPU? Yeah, probably. Dude, like, yeah, GPU can do way more. Anyways, alright, ad break's over. I can talk about what I was talking about. So, the reason why the Quest is so popular is A, because of its ecosystem, right? Let me actually write this in. But B is because of the price. Like, you know, $500 is a bit expensive for the Quest 3, but it's nothing to sneeze at when it comes to VR. Like... I'd rather pay $500 than $3,000, right? Personally. But then Meta also makes a cheaper version of the Quest called the Quest S, 3S. It's the same fucking thing, and it's only $300. That's a fucking steal. It's so cheap. Like, of course the Quest 3S cuts a lot of corners compared to the Quest 3. Oh yeah, it uses Fresnel lenses, that's probably why. But yeah, like, it's just a cheaper headset for people that don't want to spend as much money. But if you do want a high-quality VR for the consumer, then Quest 3 is definitely a good option, in my opinion. I love this thing. This is a really, really fucking good upgrade compared to the Quest 2. But yeah, now we go into the Steam frame. Right? Let me just look it up for you guys. So now we go into the Steam frame. And this is a competitor to, essentially, the Meta Quest 3. And you can see, as to, like, it is very, very similar. The head strap is not modular, like the Quest, from what I can see. It looks like it's stuck there. It has the wireless dongle, which is nice. It has the eye tracking and foveated rendering, which is cool. Audio's whatever, it's the same shit. The controllers are different, right? Like, the controllers have VR input, but they also have non-VR input, which is kind of weird. I don't know, like... Do you guys think that these controllers are a good idea with all of these extra buttons? Because, like, here's what the Quest controllers look like. You just have, like, A, B, X, Y on either side. And they just have, like, a few things. It's mainly motion-derived, but... The Steam frame has, like, the D-pad and, like, the standard button layout. It's just, like, a standard controller layout without the touchpads. I don't know, like, is more buttons equals better? Okay, fair enough, but, like, I don't know, I'd rather just use a standard controller if I'm ever trying to use, like, if I'm ever trying to play, you know, non-VR games. That's just me, though. If they plan to play normal games with these. Yeah, I'd personally just feel more at home without, like, a detached controller setup. I'd rather, like, have, like, a proper controller versus this. That's just me, though. Like, most VR games are gonna be tailored towards these controllers. That's, like, the gist of it, because so many games are made for the Quest. It's like the biggest market share. This will probably disrupt it a bit for sure, but yeah, like most manufacturers of VR games are making these. Hey, Mysterious Night Stabber, how you doing? I feel like at some point someone will train AI in first-person Go cam footage and use it to power VR, so everything will just react to your hands. That would be sick. But it also, the Quest does have hand tracking. Like, it doesn't need these controllers, right? You could use your hands and it'll work just fine. It's just the controllers are more robust and probably better, but I digress. But yeah, it does have hand tracking. I don't believe the Steam frame has hand tracking. It's pretty understandable as to what it wants to promote. It's like, hey, we have a straightforward VR headset that you can play your PC games on, you can play VR games on, and that's pretty much it. Like, here you go, here's the package, here's everything. It's by Steam, enjoy it. That's basically it, right? Yeah, but I feel like this is a good upgrade to today's landscape, where we have like a standalone headset that can also connect to the PC. But the most interesting part... Okay, yeah, so I was saying VR standalone, so Steam Frame plus Quest 3 are pretty much the big boys in that market, right? But I feel like the biggest part of the Steam Frame announcement is not the, you know, device itself, right? It's the OS. Now let's talk about that. Oops. So, Steam OS is somehow now running on an ARM system. So they built an ARM version of Steam OS. And for those of you who don't know, Steam OS is basically Arch Linux. It is, actually not basically, it's Arch Linux. It's Arch Linux based. And it runs all of your games on there. Which means that it's way more efficient than Windows. For sure. Like, obviously, you're not going to be playing with Windows on this thing. Yeah, so it's an ARM-based VR headset. Give me that ARM Steam Deck. Yeah, I feel like if the Steam Deck does transition to ARM at some point, it's gonna be a huge competitor to the Switch, like the Nintendo Switch, because I said before, the Switch is good for me because of the portability and the lightweight aspect. This will definitely do it. But yeah, nevertheless. But yeah, SteamOS is Arch Linux based, more efficient, right? And they said in the announcement that in addition to Steam games on Linux, it can also run Android APKs. For those of you who don't know, Meta's OS, Meta Horizon OS, right? The thing that they promoted back in 2021 with like Mark Zuckerberg having that weird ass avatar. Yeah, so the Meta Horizon OS is based on Android 12. In fact, any game that you build for the Quest is just an APK that runs on a Quest headset. So that's what the Horizon OS is. So SteamOS is somehow allowing these types of games to run on an Arch Linux system. It's not Android, right? It's not like you're running an Android reskin or redo. It's Linux, but it runs all this Android shit. So it's like, how the fuck is this being done? And I believe there is a emulator, like a translation layer. Let me just search it. Steam Frame Android. It is here somewhere. I remember they talked about it. Fuck, I forgot it was called F something. Waydroid. Oh, yes, Waydroid. Fuck, I'm stupid. Yeah. Thank you. That's what it was called. Yeah, so this right here is Waydroid. So basically you're running Wayland on Linux, and then you can run Android within Linux using this thing called Waydroid, like Mysterious Night Stabber just said. So basically it allows you to run all Android, most Android apps on, you know, the ARM chip. And like Night Stabber said as well, if it's an ARM chip, like most phones, it's basically running at a native thing. Like at one point you could run Postmarket OS at 1.1+6 and just have all your Android stuff in the Linux OS. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. Like I knew what Postmarket OS was. It's basically just, you know, an OS after shit finishes, but yeah, that's pretty fucking sick though. I didn't know you could run with Waydroid inside Postmarket OS after your phone has pretty much died. So yeah, it's pretty cool. In a previous stream, I installed Lineage OS on my very old Pixel phone. But yeah, Postmarket OS is another option, I guess. But yeah, I guess Steam is using this. I also think they're using a translation layer software. Translation layer. Where is it? Where is it, bruh? I knew it's something. x86 translation layer. Fuck. Trying to find it. Actually, I don't care about that. It's here somewhere. If you guys know the name of the library that's used to translate between ARM and x86, that would be super helpful. I can't seem to find it right now. I apologize. But yeah, I'll just talk about translation though, because it's a really, really important topic when it comes to understanding CPU architectures. Okay. So for you guys that are not in the know, there are basically two types of CPUs. I put types in quotes because, you know, that's not actually true, but we have ARM and we have x86. So these are different types of instructions for the CPU. Right? So unfortunately, these two are not cross-compatible. So ARM tends to be used for mobile, right? Stuff that needs to be efficient, stuff that needs to be lightweight. Basically, ARM chips are super small, and they're very, very powerful. They're what you call, like, most of them are like SoCs, right? Systems on a chip. You have the CPU, the GPU, everything is in that one small chip that allows the computer or the phone or whatever, in this case, the Steam frame, to run. And the Quest 3 and the Steam frame both use Qualcomm chips, which is like the frontier in ARM, other than, you know, other than Apple, for example, like with mobile phones. And Qualcomm is a huge maker of chips that, you know, allow people to run software on this stuff. So the Quest 3 and Steam frame both use Qualcomm chips, which are ARM. Right? x86 is basically more of a virtual instruction set, meaning that it's more defined in software than hardware. With ARM, instructions tend to be built into the chip. Like when you actually make the chip itself, you're building in what it can do. With x86, you build the chip, and then you could add stuff on top through software. So it's more virtual, but it's also more heavy, right, compared to ARM. So it's mainly used for stuff like PCs, laptops, supercomputers, basically anything that really needs a more oomph, basically. Right, so that's x86. Unfortunately, both of these are incompatible with each other. Like, you can't use an x86 application with an ARM application. That's just not possible. So whenever you see an OS that's distributed with like an ARM version, it's distributing it for this, right? And most OSs run on an x86 thing. So this is where translation comes in. Basically, x86 instructions are translated over to ARM instructions on the fly, and depends on the efficiency of said translation layer for these games to run. Now, here comes the problem, right? A lot of titles in VR, especially PC VR, are x86 because they are running on Windows PCs, right? So now that the Steam frame is out, they need to run ARM. And to do this, the Steam frame has a translation layer built in to allow x86 games to run on ARM very quickly. This is an open project. I forgot the name of it. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's just a simple explanation as to what x86 versus ARM is. And the biggest disruptor when it came to this, you know, back in 2020 was the MacBook Pro. The one I own right now, right? It has an M series chip, which is made on ARM. And this is what really spurred the push towards making ARM-based computers, because it is super fucking efficient compared to using like your average Windows laptop, which runs with a fan all the time. It's terrible. I talked about it in a different stream, but yeah, the Steam frame uses an ARM chip, and therefore has a translation layer. It uses Waydroid. It uses all that stuff. Box 64. Yeah, I'm probably. I know it was something that's called F something. It was a very small project that uses Box 64. Yes, but yeah. That's basically the technology behind ARM versus x86 and why translation layers are so important to keeping this stuff running well. Anyways. And this is why they say Steam frame is a PC, because it literally is a PC in a VR headset. It's just an ARM-based PC, like a MacBook, for example. So it runs SteamOS, right? We said that before. Same stuff. It runs Linux. And it's also Steam frame verified program. Like if you guys know the Deck verified program, that's used for the Steam Deck instead of the instead of, you know, just playing any Steam game. It's like if a game is Deck verified, then it can be played on SteamOS. That's basically it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So the cool part about this headset is that it can be ported to any, like, sorry, from your fears that people can port Quest apps directly to the Steam frame with probably not much work because it runs an Android container already. So that makes life super easy. And it also has eye tracking, which is cool. That's great. Right? I don't know. Like, I find this thing to be very, very fucking cool. Hey, Shadow, how you doing? I'm good. Doing well. How are you? Hopefully everything's going well with you. We're just talking about the new Steam hardware that dropped this past Wednesday. I'm just going over, like, all my fucking VR things, because I've been in VR for some time, and it's just, like, seeing everything be innovated upon, and, you know, all these new crazy headsets releasing is so fucking cool. In my opinion. Yeah, but, like, the console and VR. Yes, the console, the VR, and the controller. Yep, that's right. Alright, so, yeah. So we talked about ARM versus x86. And, okay. I'm gonna expose you guys to the containment zone here. Food for thought. This can work in reverse for Android. The Android virtualization framework is a thing Google pushes for security, but allows running graphics accelerated Linux VMs. So if you have software that runs in Linux ARM to run PC games, you can run that on Android. So imagine Steam on Android. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Like, if Steam could run on an Android device like that, that would be fucking sick. Maybe that is what they're building towards. Who fucking knows what Valve is doing? Valve is one of those companies where it's like they make these eccentric things that are super cool and are more so for enthusiasts than the general consumer. Like, Steam is for the general consumer, right? But most of the stuff that Valve makes isn't really, like, targeted towards consumers from something that I see. Everything is a Steam box. Yeah. That's fucking sick, though. That's pretty cool. But I did want to talk about the pros and the cons versus the Quest 3. All right, so let's go over that. So, Steam Frame. Valve really bet pops in, says like, hey, I made this really fucking cool thing, and then it leaves. Yep, that's pretty much them. That's how it works with them. All right, let me bring you guys into the containment zone, because low-key, I feel like people are glazing the Steam frame a little bit too much. Unsure where the differences is, but this is an amazing frame. It's just simply better. Okay. Steam frame requirements. Let me see all the glazing here about this shit. I'm trying to find, because there's a lot of tech bros on Twitter that are like, oh my god, Steam just broke the internet. They made something so fucking good. Everybody's gonna buy the Steam frame now. Oh my god. Like, okay, I have my own thoughts about that, but dude, it's just like people fucking glaze this shit like crazy. Where is it, dude? Oh my god. Not like the standard VR people. Yeah, because how good are those lenses? Just want Half-Life Alyx look gooder. Nice Saber. If you get a Quest 3, you can make Half-Life Alyx look good right now. Like the pancake lens, they're literally the same fucking type of lenses, man. Pancake lenses are pancake lenses, man. Like they're gonna be the same shit. The Steam frame has an LCD. Yeah, so does like the Quest 3 and all those other headsets. I personally don't have a problem with it. Actually, let me just, yeah, Quest 3 I think has an LCD. Steam frame is the most exciting hardware. 144 hertz. Ay. Where's the glazing, bro? I'm trying to find it. Fuck. Okay. What the? Okay, we're not looking at that. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna just, go back to here. I don't think I can't find the glazing just yet, but if you guys find glazing, then let me know. Let me look it up, actually. Quest 3 screen specs. I'll look it up for you, Shadow. It has an LCD. Quest 3 has an LCD. Yeah. Okay. So, let's go over the pros and cons of the Steam frame versus the Quest 3. So let's go over the Steam frame first, the pros. Okay, so the first pro I'd say is it's from Steam, right? So it doesn't have anything meta related. I know a lot of people are averse to having Facebook on their headset, which totally fair, right? Totally fair that Facebook, you don't want Facebook looking at your headset. That makes sense. So Steam is one thing, right? So that way you have Steam OS. It's a Linux distribution. It's your own thing. PC OS, right? Not like the Syndrome. It's a PC operating system. The battery's in the back. Right? So the thing with VR headsets is that, especially with standalone ones, they can be very front heavy. Let's look at the Quest 3, for example. Right? You see that it has the entire thing is basically in the front, and they just have this cloth strap in the back. So it's going to be really front heavy. It might sag on your face. And you have to tighten the head strap so that it won't do that. That's why a lot of people buy third-party head straps for the Quest, simply because, you know, this head strap just sucks ass. It's terrible. Meanwhile, the Steam frame, it has the battery on the back of the head by default, and I assume it's just the headset itself up front. So it allows for a better weight distribution, because a huge thing in VR is a counterweight. So you usually put like a sort of weight on the back of the headset so that it doesn't, you know, tip forward towards the front and hurt the more you play. So that's one thing. So yes, battery in the back is a huge plus for the Steam frame. And also, it has the Wi-Fi dongle out of the box. Right, so it allows you to play on it allows you to play wireless PC VR from like your Ethernet connection with no issues. Okay, so those are really the pros that I can see. Also, it has 144 hertz, but honestly, I personally don't use that. I don't know who uses 144 hertz with that stuff, but it has a higher refresh rate. But let's look at the cons that I find. If you have any pros or cons, just let me know in the chat. I'll add them. The cons are pretty big, probably minuscule, but they're also a bit. I do need to talk about them for sure. All right, so the cons are simple, right? First of all, pass through. Right, it's black and white. Something that the Steam website showed, which kind of seems misleading, is this image right here. You see how it's like they have the full color, you know, outside, you're playing the game like that. That's what they're trying to sell. But in reality, that's what the Quest can do this. The Steam frame can't, because rather than seeing everything in color, you're going to see everything in black and white, basically. So you're either going to be in like a virtual environment playing games with the Steam frame, or you're going to be just seeing black and white images. So yeah, it's not a color pass-through system is what I'm trying to say. It's a little nitpicky, but if they're trying to like push, oh, you can play PC VR immersively anywhere, then like, it's not going to do that. So that's one con, if you really care about that. Personally, I like my color pass-through on my Quest 3, but if it didn't have color pass-through, I really wouldn't care. No augmented reality. I feel like, okay, let's do a tangent here. I feel like VR isn't the type of form factor for augmented reality. Despite Zatara's previously talked about the Vision Pro, and it really hinges on the fact that augmented reality is a thing, right? I don't think VR is a good medium for augmented reality. I'm gonna be honest with you, because we have like the Meta glasses, right? We saw those a couple streams ago. Those are the future for AR, because they're lightweight, they fit on your face nicely, and it just makes sense to have them. But with the entire VR headset, it just looks kind of stupid, in my opinion. I don't like it. I like the glasses form factor. Those are the coolest. Those are the most interesting, and I'd rather stick with those. But yes, there is no augmented, or what Meta likes to call mixed reality, in the Steam frame. So pass-through is black and white. There's no hand tracking. Right, so it doesn't have the same, you know, hand tracking stuff that's present in the Quest 3. So hand tracking is really fucking nice, by the way. Right? It allows you to, you know, interact with games in a much more different way compared to, you know, just using controllers. I still use controllers when I play VR, but I find hand tracking to be really cool in many situations, especially when you don't have controllers, or if you want to promote like an educational sense for VR. That's where hand tracking really shines. So there's no hand tracking. I personally find it like a cool novelty, or just like a new input method, basically. There's also it's also the ecosystem is less than the Quest 3, right? It'll probably grow over time, right? You have the entire PC VR catalog on Steam that you could use, but the overall ecosystem for Steam Frame will be less than Quest 3 for a long time until people push it. Zatara says, so Meta glasses for AR and Meta Quest for VR. Meta glasses for AR, or just like any type of glasses, there are other brands out there, and VR could be whatever you want, right? You could have a PC VR setup, but you could also get like a Quest or a Steam Frame, right? There's nothing. I think VR is open enough to the point where it's like, yeah, there's like no point in just thinking about like, oh, you have to go with a specific brand. Quest is the most popular, but you don't have to use a Quest for VR. That's the good thing. But unfortunately, like the Steam Frame, the ecosystem is definitely going to be less than the Quest 3. Okay. And let's go over the Quest 3, right? The Quest 3 Pros. The Quest 3 Pros are simple, right? You have the ecosystem. Basically means you have like all of the fucking meta standalone games, easy peasy, able to access. You have a more refined standalone experience. You have the color pass through. Oh, I also forgot to add eye tracking here. This is a big pro, especially for games like VR Chat where eye tracking is very helpful in that sense, or if you're like trying to become a VTuber or something, that would be pretty cool. So color pass through. Also, it also has, yeah, I feel like that's pretty much it. If you think about it. Oh yeah, fuck, I forgot hand tracking. That's another one. Standard layouts. Probably lighter controllers, because there's less bullshit on them. So yeah, those are like a few Quest 3 Pros. You could definitely see how the Steam Frame Pros are more like robust compared to the Quest 3 Pros, which are more just like tacked on. But yeah, let's go over the cons. Meta, that's the first con. The second one is no eye tracking. Right, that's a pretty big one, in my opinion. No eye tracking, especially if you want it. Also, there's no like standard to PC VR. Like Meta has like the wired way to PC VR and the wireless way, so that could be a pro. So they have like the Quest Link and Air Link, but the Air Link, the first party solutions for the Quest kind of fucking suck. So if you ever are looking for like multiplayer or PC VR, I'd recommend using Steam Link or Virtual Desktop, because they're just better than the existing Meta offerings, which is sad because, you know, the first party solutions should be better, but the third party solutions are just outperforming Meta like severely. It's crazy. There's no standard way to PC VR. Unlike, you know, Steam having the 2.5 dongle out of the box, which will make it really easy to do PC VR. Oh, I also forgot to add like the modular head strap system. So fixed head strap. Granted, the Steam Frame head strap looks really fucking comfy, but you can't like swap it out like you would with the Quest and just get something else. Like a lot of people just buy a different head strap for the Quest because it makes a lot of sense. The Quest 3 cons: Meta, no eye tracking, no standard way to PC VR, max 120 hertz. I feel like this is just a limitation of the hardware. And let's see, oh, battery plus other stuff in the front. And that's all I can really think of, right? So to sum it up, right, we have the Steam Frame, which is, you know, aiming towards like a standalone plus like a more PC VR, but it's standalone experience, whereas the Quest 3 is a standalone, but with PC VR experience. So it's a standalone first headset. I find it very interesting because the Steam Frame really comes with stuff that... The Steam Frame and the Quest... Let me rephrase that. The Steam Frame and the Quest 3 are very, very similar. They're very similar headsets. Like, if you want the Quest 3, you get all of these things. If you want the Steam Frame, you get all of these things. it's like, which company do you want to support? Because you're basically getting the same fucking headset, with just very, very minor differences depending on what matters more to you, right? So, if you already own a Quest 3, like me, why would you buy the Steam frame? I'm genuinely curious. I don't really think it's a purchase I'd make, because the Quest 3 is already good enough for my case. It has everything I need, it does everything I want it to do, and it's just great. But if you're upgrading from like a Quest 2, then I see the point in buying a Steam frame. Or if you're getting into VR for the first time, then I see the point. This page for the frame says SteamOS 3 with the KDE desktop. That seems wild. I guess technically the Steam frame could be a standalone desktop computer with a virtual monitor. Yeah, Night Stabber, it probably could. I definitely say it could do that. Moshi, OLED screen, better input lag, running PC games inside the VR headset. Moshi, one thing, the Steam frame is LCD. Both of these headsets are LCDs. There's no OLED at all in these things. Running PC games inside the VR headset. You could do that on both. Or I guess, sorry. You could do that on both, providing you have a PC VR streaming. And also, in order to run those PC games in the headset, it needs to be able to be translated well, or it needs to be able to be built for ARM. So there's a little bit of extra headroom that needs to be taken into account when it comes to running that stuff. Also, welcome. Forgot to say that, but yeah, that's something to take into account when it comes to the Steam frame, is that, yes, it does do more than the Quest in that case. But yeah, no OLED. Honestly, man, like, I never really found that the OLED mattered. I'm just gonna say that. Like, a good quality LCD display, it doesn't really matter in my personal usage with the Quest. I find that it was good, right? The Quest, I had a Quest 1 as well, and that had OLED. The Quest 2 didn't really make much of a difference for me personally. Maybe I just don't care, right? Good quality, 1,000 to 1. Yeah, maybe it's just me. Maybe I don't care enough about this type of stuff, like OLED versus LCD. On phones, I could see it, right? When my iPhone, I upgraded from an LCD phone to an OLED phone, and it was obvious straight up as to what I saw. But with VR headsets and computers, I don't see it. It doesn't hit the same for me when it comes to like, oh, here's an OLED display versus an LCD display. I just want to see how good Noam Chomsky looks in 4K HDR OLED. Well, you could do that by getting an OLED monitor. Yeah. You guys are great. But yeah. Oh, yeah, one thing I forgot to fucking mention. And this goes to all of the Steam things that we talked about just now. Where did I put the thing with the... Okay, here we go. There's no price for any of these devices. So we have no idea how much any of these are gonna cost. Like, will they cost... Because, as I stated before, the Quest 3 costs only $500. I say only in quotes. But how much is the Steam frame gonna cost? Like, is it gonna be more than $500? Oh shit, we got an ad coming up, my fault. Is the Steam machine gonna be more than the average console? The Xbox Series X was like $650? And how much is this gonna cost, right? We don't know. We have no idea. But yeah, we don't know what the prices are for these things. That's the crazy part. It sucks. I want to see the prices before I make a decision on like whether or not somebody should buy this thing. Because... oh yeah, the machine costs as much as a comparable PC is what they said. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna have to see what the price is for this thing. Also, we got an ad coming up right now. I apologize. I'll just keep yapping about the prices for a bit. Let me see Moshi's messages here. HDR is kind of fake. I tried it so much since I'm a VFX artist. Oh, that's cool. And video composer. Damn, okay. So you know your shit about video then. Unlike my dumbass. Who just does not give a single fuck. But yeah. Okay, I mean, I don't know. I heard HDR is fucking makes things sharper. That's all I know about it. Do you guys have ad block? I mean, some don't, some do. You can get ad block if you want. I don't make money from ads. I don't care. The only thing is that Twitch, you know, view counts decrease if you use ad block. So subscribing to me would be better if you could. But if you don't, that's fine. Use ad block. I don't care. My goal in streaming is to just chill with y'all, and that's it. That's all it is. I don't really care. Okay. Oh man, but fucking no price listed is kind of crazy at the moment. Cause like I don't know if I could justify buying the Steam frame if it's like $800. You know what I'm saying? They did say the Steam frame was gonna be less than the index. And MSRP of the index was like $1,000, right? And the Steam machine, what Night Stabber just said, is it's going to be less than, it's going to be cost as a comparable PC. So who knows what that is, right? What does that even mean? And Steam controller, no one fucking has a clue either. So yeah. Wait, let me wait for this ad break to finish, and then we'll continue what I was trying to say. Because I do have some thoughts about the Steam machine as well. Hopefully, again, this is like a small area. If you guys have any questions, anything you want to ask me, what my opinions are on things, feel free. It's like a little time. Okay, ad's over. Beautiful. Okay. So let's go over. I think that pretty much covers my thoughts on the Steam frame. It's more or less just a different it's just a different type of Quest 3. So like, if you want it, you got it. If you don't, you don't. The one thing that is, you know, kind of something to talk about is that the Quest 3 was released back in 2023. And the frame is going to be released in 2026. But the hardware is comparable to 2023. It's like very much a 2023 headset in today's time. And that feels like a bit of a problem because Meta said they're going to release something new in 2027, so probably like the Quest 4. And they just, I think Steam would have just gave a layup like, hey, you want to add more crazy hardware? Then go ahead. We don't really care. Like, sure, like I guess Steam wants to stay in its own lane. Or sorry, Valve wants to stay in its own lane, but yeah, I feel like the Quest 4 is definitely going to change the landscape of VR depending on what Meta does, right? If they start shoving AI stuff in there like Microsoft did with their stupid ass laptops, then the Quest 4 is as good as dead. I'm sorry, but like, I don't think people want like hella AI bullshit in their VR headset. I need a zero input lag headset. Well, the only way you can get that is if you buy something like a big screen beyond, I guess. Hold on. Like if you buy a big screen beyond, I think this is like the cheapest PC VR, sole PC VR headset you can get. This guy will give you what you need for like a zero input lag headset because it's literally just PC VR and it's really lightweight because it's all it is just the cable plus the headset. That's it. So yeah. But let's see here. But yeah. It's like, what is the frame is trying to compare with a headset that is basically released like 2.5 years ago. I know. Is it really cheap? No, the big screen beyond is not cheap at all. Like the cheapest VR headset, this is why I say Meta wins the game, is the Quest. That is the cheapest VR headset you could get at this time because it is the only headset that is priced at a comparable price. Everything that I looked for isn't at a comparable price. It is fucking ridiculous. I think the Pico 4 was also priced like that, but it's also a standalone headset as well. But yeah, the big screen beyond is not cheap in the slightest. Let me show you guys. It starts at $1,000. It is fucking expensive. Also, if you want eye tracking, what the fuck is a VR chat edition? The fuck? The big screen beyond is cool, yeah. Like it's literally custom tailored to your face and has like prescription lens adjustments built in and shit. That's pretty sick, but it is fucking expensive. God damn. Yeah, like, oh man. What is this Halo mount? Ah, okay, so there's just like more stuff that could be there. Cool. Yeah, but it's like, if you want a custom tailored PC VR headset, this one is the one that you need to use right here. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Like, oh, yeah, let's actually talk about this. Hold on. The tracking. Okay. There are two types of VR tracking, right? And this is why stuff like the Quest 3 and the Steam Frame will be cheaper. There's Inside Out, and then there is Base Station. Base Station tracking is the older version of tracking. It uses lasers and base stations around the room to tell where you are located, basically. Right? So this reduces the bulk of the VR headset itself, because all of the tracking is done via externally powered devices. So you need to have base stations in addition to the VR headset, and base stations do cost a pretty penny. So keep that in mind. While Inside Out is all camera based. So it uses physics to calculate where you are in relative to the barrier of the room that you're in based on infrared signals. Usually it's infrared. So that's how Inside Out tracking works. When you see stuff like color pass-through, that's mainly just for the user experience. It's not required for Inside Out tracking. It's not going to make it better in any way. But it uses cameras to determine where you are in relative to the room. This decreases cost, but it also increases bulk, because A, you need to have an onboard computer to calculate where you are at a certain point in time, and B, you need to be able to understand, their headset needs to be able to support all of those cameras at once. So let's just look at the Quest 3 here. For example, you see these cameras on the sides and in the front here? These are all used for tracking where you are and where the controllers are in real time. So, for example, without a base, like, say for example, you put your controllers behind your back, right? You put your hands behind your back, your controllers are behind you. The Quest cannot see that controllers are behind you, so it might start to spaz out a bit. While with the base station, since you have a base station all around the room, it'll be able to see where your controllers are at any time. So it'll be able to construct a skeleton that can track you across your play space. So that's the difference between base stations and Inside Out tracking. Now, Inside Out also is way more portable. Like, you could grab and go with the Quest 2 wherever you want. But base station tracking requires a dedicated room. So stuff like the Big Screen Beyond, it has base station tracking, meaning that it's going to be used with a PC, and it's also going to be used knowing the fact that you're in a restricted play space. So that's like the trade-offs when it comes to different types of tracking solutions. And this is why, you know, the Steam Frame is using Inside Out tracking. Because A, it's decreasing cost, and B, it's way more portable than before, which is what they're trying to push to the consumer. So yeah, that's pretty much there. But yeah, VR tracking is... I feel like all the VR tracking and all that stuff is really interesting in general, because there's so many ways to get tracking working, and I feel like the people who do it the biggest are VR chat people. VR chat people are insane, by the way. I don't know how the fuck they do it. Like, they figure out ways to do shit in VR that's just... that people thought wasn't possible before. I don't know. I have no fucking idea. But yeah. That's basically it on the Steam Frame. The Steam Machine... Don't delete that, fuck off. The Steam Machine is its own thing, right? Let me open that up. So... Sorry, taking a drink. Look at the Steam Machine here. Your games on the big screen. Powerful PC gaming. Made easy in a small and mighty package. So yeah. The Steam Machine is basically like a quote-unquote Steam console, but it's actually just a PC. So you're able to play whatever game you want on here, which is cool. And it's literally just a PC. Like, there's nothing much to talk about it. It's a very tiny PC. And we also don't know the price of it, which is great. So yeah. But that's pretty much... I mean, I can't really talk too much on the Steam Machine because I already just talked about when we were watching the video. But yeah, it's definitely in a small form factor. It's really nice for, you know, like just say it's like a Mac Mini, but by Steam and actually plays games. So that's pretty cool. And it can also run as like your full-fledged desktop PC, which is also cool. So yeah. But I find it very cool. I find it very interesting. I find it very awesome that it runs a modifiable OS, like Steam OS. I like the fact that Valve is able to bring Linux to a greater audience, right? So if you guys don't know, the reason why Linux gaming has gotten so much better is because of Valve. Because they started making Proton and Steam OS for gaming on Linux. But the biggest thing with Steam Machine, and Valve acknowledges this, is that most popular games can't be played on it. At least out of the box, right? For example, Fortnite, Overwatch, Valorant, VR chat, I guess. I guess on the Steam frame too, technically, unless they build like a VR chat for Steam frame. Let's get a VR chat for that. Overwatch, Valorant, Fortnite. What are COD, Battlefield. Like all of these games, like these multiplayer games that everybody plays. Actually, Overwatch is on there. Can Overwatch be played? Let's see. I'm pretty sure Overwatch uses... Oh, it is gold. What the fuck? Huh. Interesting. Is it Overwatch multiplayer or single player, though? Blizzard actually used to be big supporters of people playing online. Interesting. Ah, okay, here we go. That's why. Okay. Never mind then. Let's get rid of Overwatch. That's a good thing then. I did not know that. Thank you for educating me. Okay, so we got Fortnite, Valorant, COD, Battlefield. Basically, most anti-cheat games. Most anti-cheat games cannot be played on Linux and the Steam machine, which is unfortunate. If you install Windows on the Steam machine, then you could play the anti-cheat. You do have Marvel Rivals. Man, Marvel Rivals has died, bruh. Am I running? Fuck, it made me curious now. It is running. Interesting. But yeah, like a lot of games that run on Windows, a lot of games require Windows, and these are like very popular games. So it's like you can't play them on Linux. And hopefully the biggest hope is that Valve would allow more anti-cheat developers or game developers to allow the anti-cheat to be running on Linux for this reason, right? But unfortunately, it didn't happen with the Steam Deck. I don't know if it'll happen with this. It seems like a lot of hopium to me, right? And just installing Windows on the Steam Deck kind of kills it for me personally, because SteamOS is lighter, more efficient. It allows it's made for the hardware. If you just install Windows on it to play the stuff, it's like, okay, sure. You just got, you know, a basic PC. So I don't know. I find that the Steam machine is great for like a small PC. Again, the price is something that's definitely in the realm of possibility of like, why don't I just build my own PC? But like, we don't know what the price is of what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it's just a lot of the popular games nowadays have an anti-cheat. And since a lot of the popular games have an anti-cheat, they also can't be played on Linux easily unless the developer themselves say, hey, you can play our games on Linux, no problem. And it really does suck. But yeah, that's the main issue I have with this thing, the Steam machine and the Steam Deck, is because like Twitter users are pushing like you can play everything you want on the Steam, on those consoles. And that's not true unless you go through a lot of extra hoops, which doesn't make much sense to me. Like, if the Steam machine is trying to compete with consoles, it'll probably lose because, you know, with consoles, you can play all of these games without the need for an anti-cheat, and you can just play them straight up. So did Overwatch, but no PUBG. Devs can do weird things, like Helldivers add an anti-cheat that's not compatible with Linux, but if you play it on Linux, they use Linux-compatible anti-cheat. I mean, to be fair, Why the fuck does Helldivers even have an anti-cheat in the first place? Is it really necessary? Like, it's a co-op game. Try to fuck around with it, that's fine. I guess maybe because you don't want people to start crashing their servers, but yeah. I don't know. I find that that's something... I don't know. I find that it's something weird when it comes to... I guess you could greet people Gary's mod style. Yeah, I guess if you're playing with like randos, usually whenever I used to play Helldivers, I play with a squad, like a full squad, so different story, but yeah, that's why anti-cheat's needed, because people are stupid and annoying and cheaters and assholes, so yeah. I really hope that... Oh, I forgot to also put League. Can you play League of Legends on Linux? Let me look this up. I don't think you can. Yep. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but yes, you cannot play League of Legends on possibly playable through a Mac OS VM. What? How is that possible? How do you play via a Mac OS VM on Linux for fucking League? And again, who the fuck would play League? Ew, disgusting game. Ugh. Deny. Yeah, Linux is... I guess Riot is like, fuck you with Vanguard, and just says that. Epic is the funniest 180. Unreal Tournament literally had Tux on the game box and a Linux star on the CD. Oh, man. Yeah, Fortnite is just straight up denied by Easy. Oh my god, that's so dumb. Ay. Yeah, I think the main solution for shit like that, though, is to play the game on the cloud, or just have like a Windows partition. I feel like the Windows partition would be the best option in this case, because, like, you know, it makes more sense. You play all of the anti-cheat games on a Windows partition, and everything else gets played on the Linux partition of your Steam machine, so you could do that. That's another thing that's possible. Like, I was yesterday, since I was tired yesterday, but if I did stream yesterday, I was gonna look into like a Linux installation for my computer, just for fun, and I was, you know, just thinking of going with no games on Linux and just having a full Windows partition and drive just for games, because it's just easier for me to have all my shit on Windows. I don't know, like, I find Linux to be very cool and interesting, and I really hope Linux becomes more popular in the future. I don't think it will anytime soon because of the recent fragmentation of all the fucking desktop bullshit, but yeah. I want to see Valve try and push it towards the average person. But yeah, I'm probably gonna stop yapping about Steam for now, because there are a couple of other juicy stories I want to talk about. One of them in particular is really juicy, okay? You're gonna like this one. But yeah, you guys got any questions, any thoughts, any opinions on stuff I've said so far, please ask away. I'm not gonna get offended by what you say. If you guys think Linux is the second savior of computing, sure. I have a fucking Windows machine, the MacBook, and also a Linux server. I run all three OSs. You cannot stop me. Oh gosh. Talking really dries your throat out, doesn't it? Okay. Let me fix the music here. Why is it so shit? There you go. Much better. Let me also look at like what the anti-cheats are. So there's easy anti-cheat. Wow, there's a lot of Jesus Christ. Why are there so many anti-cheats? What the fuck? MiHoYo's anti-Denuvo. What the fuck? Why does Denuvo run fine on Linux? I thought Denuvo was the evil anti-cheat that nobody liked. Why does Denuvo run fine? But fucking Vanguard just doesn't work at all. What the hell? What? Wow, there is a shitload of anti-cheats. Man, these companies are raking it in, dude. Holy shit. I've been trying to do Linux only because of AI, but I still have a Windows installed and an external SSD, because even when games like Overwatch and Arc Rares are supposed to work, I get breakages. Yeah, exactly, right? Because, as I say before, if you want to play one of the more popular multiplayer games, Windows is the best way to do it, because it's just that it needs to dig so deep into your fucking system that it just becomes annoying on Linux. I mean, there's two ways that I could do gaming with a Linux system. Number one is a console, and for me, I have a Switch, so that pretty much solves all single player games for me. Number two is Windows partition, and that solves all multiplayer games for me. So that's what I'd end up doing if I ever decided to, you know, have a full Linux setup. Is just have an extra Windows partition on one of my 4 drives. That's it. Nothing crazy. Also for VR, I don't know. I think VR and Linux is definitely going to get better now that Steam Frame is a thing and Steam Link is also a thing, but I think VR and Windows is just better at the moment. Like, way better than Linux. So yeah. Nevertheless, let me look up the next story in the meantime. It's a small story, but I think it deserves to be talked about a bit. Here we go. Looks good. Perfect. Okay. All right. What's about? Let me just find an article real quick. Hold on 1 second. This shit's ass. This one's the AI generated article that Rixie sent me. Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Let's look at this one. Okay. So before we get into this article, I want to explain a library to you guys called FFmpeg. Right, FFmpeg is used for video. It's like the video toolkit. Anything video related is most likely using FFmpeg. It is an open source project that is maintained by a bunch of people and used by a bunch of people and corporations to make video work. And without it, we'd be kind of fucked. So that's what FFmpeg essentially is. It's a very, very, very useful tool. Now, here's the thing, right? FFmpeg has recently been on a bit of a crusade in social media, specifically with their Twitter account. If you guys don't know about FFmpeg's Twitter, it's kind of fucking funny. So, essentially, they're just, you know, saying like open source this, open source that. They've kind of toned down a little bit because of like some drama that happened with the Twitter account. But yeah, they're big into like the open source mentality of like, we are an open source piece of software, send patches, send your maintenance stuff, but you know, don't ask us to do things and expect us to, you know, be fucking stupid. Also 1 second, let me just post something here. Forgot to post a live thing on Twitter. Oopsie. Okay. So yeah. As you can see, FFmpeg posts a lot of shit. But this is not what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about FFmpeg and Google, because there was a huge bit of drama behind both of these projects / companies. And Google has a project called Project Zero. What this is it finds zero-day exploits. And these zero-day exploits are basically exploits that can and will harm someone's system, and they should be patched. So by finding zero-day exploits from Project Zero, this helps companies improve their software and make it more resilient to security attacks, because again, software is programmed by people, and people are stupid. So there are obviously going to be bugs and bugs and bugs everywhere, which is going to cause Project Zero to start finding things. And usually when an exploit is found, there's a grace period before it's publicly announced. And that's pretty much it. So let's look at the drama behind this, because you might be thinking, why does FFmpeg have drama in this case? So, FFmpeg calls Google's AI bug reports CVE slop. Open source project pushes back on AI-generated vulnerability reports. This is where we start to see things that are very interesting. Google has made an AI-generated tool to find security bugs, which is pretty fucking big considering that, you know, an AI can keep searching forever and find bugs and shit. So let's read the article. FFmpeg maintainers have publicly criticized Google after its AI tool reported a security bug in code for a 1995 video game. The maintainers called the finding CVE slop and questioned whether trillion-dollar corporations should use AI to find security issues and volunteer code without providing fixes. So what happened? Google's agent Big Sleep found a bug in FFmpeg's code for decoding a codec. Okay, so a specific video format. The issue affected the first 10 to 20 frames of Rebel Assault 2, a game from 1995. If you don't know, Big Sleep is Google's AI-powered vulnerability detection tool developed by Project Zero and DeepMind divisions. It's supposed to find security vulnerabilities before attackers can exploit them. But here's an issue. Google's reporting transparency policy, the tech giant has a grace period, right? So there's a disclosure clock, and if a patch is available or not, you basically have a 90-day time limit before it's properly pushed to the public. FFmpeg developers patched the bug but weren't happy. They tweeted that they take security very seriously, but at the same time, is it really fair that trillion-dollar corporations run AI to find security issues in people's hobby code, then expect volunteers to fix it, which is very fair. Beyond that, you have to understand that FFmpeg is an important piece of digital infrastructure that is used everywhere. It's written by volunteers, and much of the code is in assembly, which is difficult to work with. The situation basically highlights the ongoing tensions on how corporations use volunteer-maintained open-source software and expect the open-source maintainers to fix any obscure issue that crops up. Okay, so I opened Google's Project Zero thing here. And let's see. So they made this Big Sleep, and they're using an LLM to catch vulnerabilities. Now this is nice, having a LLM that allows you to see any bugs, which is cool, right? Because it can do the work in addition to human security researchers. So I'm not going to read this. This isn't really just like, you know, this isn't a thing to really look into. It's more so just this article here. And for those of you who want the article, I'll just put it here. There you go. But I do want to talk about the drama that FFmpeg has. Normally it's the other way around. AI being bad at writing secure code. Yeah, it's also true. Vibe coding, my friend. My best friend. My beloved. Alright. Put a few dashes here. So, FFmpeg versus Google. Ooh, so spooky, so scary. FFmpeg versus Google. Okay. So let's start by saying that FFmpeg is open source, right? Meaning that there are maintainers. These people are volunteers. So volunteers are the ones maintaining the code, meaning that they're maintaining it as much as possible. And the code isn't exactly easy to work with. Assembly is a language that is it's like the lowest level you can get, basically. And it is really fucking hard to write, and not a lot of people know how to do it, like, for an actual program. Like, most people would write programs in C or C++ for, like, more systems targeting, or even Rust, right? Those are the few. There's also Zig, right? These are, like, the few ones that are more systems-based, but assembly is, like, one layer below that. And since FFmpeg writes raw assembly, it becomes a bit of a problem in finding developers who are able to write that stuff. So now, in comes Google, right? Google Corp. It has an AI bug finder, and then it notifies FFmpeg that bug is found, right? By notifying FFmpeg, FFmpeg now knows, oh shit, we got an ad, that hey, there's a bug, right? There's a problem. Now, the thing is, as I stated before, Google has a grace period of 90 days before it's announced. Now, unfortunately, that grace period is regardless of whether the bug was fixed or not. So if the bug was fixed, then that's great. But if the bug wasn't fixed, it's released to the public and people can actively exploit it. What this does is it adds maintainer pressure. They are forced to fix the bug in 90 days. Which is a huge problem because these people are volunteers. So since they're volunteers, why are they being forced to fix a bug by another company? Right? Okay, we got the ad break. I'll shut up for a bit. But yeah, like, having a company do this shit is fucking stupid. I personally don't understand it. Like, if it's an open source project, why are big companies flagging this and then not doing anything about it? You know what I'm saying? And the next thing you know, the CVE is released. People are gonna start acting on it. Oh, man. It's just like, it feels disgusting. So wait, do they just randomly start pointing their AI at other people's stuff? Yes, they do. That's what Project Zero is, right? It's used to be a human-run project to find bugs in the wild for various projects on the internet. Even like stuff like Apple software, iOS, has been audited by Project Zero, and a lot of bugs have, turned into jailbreaks because of it. So that is exactly what is happening here. It scans the internet, it looks at different projects, and it sees, like, is a bug present? Like, let me just look up Project Zero here, just to show you guys. Okay. Oop, that's not it. Here we go. Project Zero, Google. Okay, ad break's over, beautiful. Alright, so let me just finish what I was saying. Basically, now that we have the maintainer pressure, right? Google didn't submit any patches. No PRs. No patches to fix the bug that it found. So now the maintainers are forced to find the bug that essentially is causing the issue and fix it in those 90 days. What if the maintainers aren't there to fix the bug? You know what I'm saying? I mean, FFmpeg is a big project, you can do it, but it's not like the maintainers are contractually obligated to do it. And the best part is what the maintainer said is that Google, Microsoft, even Adobe, all use FFmpeg, which is an open source project. So Google isn't exactly paying FFmpeg to fix their shit. They're just saying, oh yeah, here's a bug, can you fix it so we can distribute more of our software? Thanks. Like, okay. That's basically what the entire drama is. And I agree. I agree with what FFmpeg is saying. Like, if you find a bug and you don't fix it in time, right? Maybe send a patch or give some information as to what we could do to fix it. It really helps, especially in the open source world. But yeah, that's essentially what's happening here. But what was I gonna show just now? Yes, Project Zero. Here we go. So let me just show you guys what Project Zero is. So, oh, George Hotz. Oh, he's chill. When 17-year-old George Hotz became the world's first hacker to crack AT&T's lock on the iPhone, companies ignored him while scrambling to fix the bugs his work exposed. When Hotz dismantled the defense of Google Chrome, the company paid him a bounty. 2 months later, Chris Evans followed up with an offer. How would Hotz like to join an elite team paid to hunt security vulnerabilities in every popular piece of software that touches the internet? So what Hika just said, right? Project Zero is quite literally this, right? It's just a team of hackers, white hat hackers, that find bugs, report them to the developers, and that's it. Yeah, George Hotz. Yeah. I've heard George Hotz a lot. He's chill. I've heard of him. I don't know if I've talked with him much. Maybe I have. I don't remember. I've used some of his software and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. He's right now writing TinyGrad, I believe. So, yeah. If you guys don't know what TinyGrad is, I'll show you. Here. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm getting fucking tired. Jeez. Here we go, TinyGrad. So, it's basically just a bunch of AI shit. It's a completely different framework that's supposed to be smaller and run things faster. At least it's what's supposed to be. I played SSB 64 with him at a couple points, bro. What the fuck? Damn, he got war? What the hell? That's crazy. Yeah, so that's essentially what Project Zero is. Oh, here we go. It's kind of funny how they use Blogspot, like Blogger, to disclose all their vulnerabilities. What the hell? Yeah, so So it says here, oh, interesting. So we perform vulnerability research on popular software and mobile operating systems, web browsers, and open source libraries. We use the results to patch security vulnerabilities to improve our understanding of how exploit-based attacks work. That's interesting. So they do patch things. It's just like through the AI bot, it's not doing the patches because obviously the AI won't do the patch. That is very interesting. But yeah, that's the FFmpeg drama in a nutshell. Like, it's not really like a huge thing, but it's pretty big in terms of like, hey, it's open source that's powering corporations, and when open source has a bug, the corporation just tells them, gives them a thumbs up and says like, hey, see ya, go fix it for us. Thank you go fix it for us or you'll get canceled. Thank you. Like, bruh. I don't know what you guys think. What do you guys think about that type of stuff? I personally think it's very stupid, but I don't know. Prove me wrong. Oh, man. Oh, there's another thing that... Speaking of Google, there's another thing that they did. I can't... you can't prove me wrong. Okay, fair enough. There is another thing that Google did. I covered this in a previous stream, and I want to talk about it again. Okay. So, for you guys that didn't know, back in, I think like a month or two ago, there was a change to Android that Google was proposing to only allow sideloading from verified developers. This is usually developers that verify via government ID. Otherwise, Android would not be able to install APKs. Like, you know, the big thing about Android is that people can just install APKs onto their phone without any issues. Google was aiming to throw a wrench into that by only allowing people with a verified ID and a developer account on Google to sideload applications. So this caused a huge issue because let's say a developer just wanted to make an app for friends and family. They can do that now because they need to now verify with their fucking ID and pay a membership fee just so they can publish an app on an Android device. Now this is standard for Apple, right? Like iPhones and iPads, they have this type of thing already. Like sideloading is only allowed from like a verified developer account. You just sign it properly. Like you literally can't install a random file onto your iPhone in the name of security. But in reality, Apple just wants all their fucking money from the App Store. Let's be real. So yeah, we verify via the government ID, we get the developer account. And that's the only way you can sideload onto an Android device. So this would technically block, and Google now has full control over what can and can't be installed on your phone. This obviously made Android users very angry. And I covered this in a previous stream. And that was when I actually modded my phone with Lineage OS. But now that Google has full control, it just makes things suck really bad for Android users. So it looks like Google has responded to the backlash because, you know, people are probably just going to buy an iPhone if this existed. I mean, freedom was the point of Android. Yeah, that literally was the point, right? Freedom with a little bit of decreased security, but people are okay with that. I personally like iPhones more. That's just me, though. Anyways, so Google is easing up on Android's new sideloading restrictions. Google will allow experienced users to install Android apps. Okay. So, the company is now building a new advanced flow that allows these users to accept the risks. So, back in late August, Google announced a major change. Oh, this was August, okay. That angered many enthusiasts and developers. Starting next year, okay, so we talked about the sideloading stuff. So in a blog post, Google says that this new advanced flow, so they're making a brand new flow to get these apps installable. The advanced flow is instead for developers and power users who have a higher risk tolerance and want the ability to download unverified apps. The company says it's designing this flow specifically to resist coercion to ensure that users aren't tricked into bypassing these safety checks while under pressure from scammers. Okay. So I guess like if you have like a fucking scam call, then people are gonna ask you to install. I don't think I've ever seen this happen, but alright. The flow would include clear warnings to ensure Resurrect Nokia and Mamo. Time to conquer the market. Oh my god, Nokia was a time, bruh. The flow would include clear warnings. Okay. But ultimately, it puts the risk of choice to do so in the user's hands. Google says it is currently gathering early feedback. Okay. Although Google hasn't shared what this new flow will look like, it will hopefully be easier than using ADB to install apps. Okay. So it says here that previously the only permitted method for experienced users to install apps was ADB. So, if you guys don't know what ADB is, it's basically just this program that you run on your computer that you can just communicate to your phone with. Now, with the sideloading changes have allowed ADB installations? I didn't know this. I thought it was like for everything. Because then the sideloading changes are kind of like a nothing burger, but at the same time, ADB kind of is a fucking annoying way to install things anyways. But yeah, so they add the advanced flow shit. But where was I? Prior to this announcement, it's simple but very tedious for experienced users. Tools like Shizuku would have made ADB installation possible without the use of PC, but who knows how long such methods would ask. Yeah, again, it does feel very hacky. Google also announced it's inviting developers outside of the Play Store to join the early access program for developer verification. Okay, so the ID bullshit. So let me read Mephi's chat here. Scam calls where scammers extort SMS code to conduct money transfer via common is very common in my country. Side effect of convenient e-banking. Really? Even on like phones? I thought it was more so like a Windows thing. Like, oh, person has like a PC and then you just like have that fucking scamming bullshit. That's the ones I usually see. But I didn't know it could happen with phones too. That's pretty fucking whack. I guess there were a lot of reports of malware happening, but like at the same time, I already talked about like the reports of malware, what it could actually be, you know? Scary world out there? Yeah, it's very scary. Let's look at the justification. Google's blog post reiterated the reasoning for implementing the new developer verification bullshit. I didn't say the requirement. Safety and security, like they always love to say. The company wants to protect users from scammers and fraudsters who use social engineering tactics. A malicious verification app to secure their funds. Wow. Scammers have really evolved, haven't they? Jesus. Requiring developers to verify their identities will make it difficult for bad actors to spin up new malicious apps. On the other hand, it increases the barrier for entry. Okay. They initiate transfer. Users get SMS. Scammers call and say SMS code. Transfer becomes verified. Money bye-bye. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, got it. SMS scams are huge. They're definitely much bigger than they were. They're definitely more easy to social engineer versus like installing an app. But yeah, I understand where Google is coming from. Like, hey, more security, go burr, you know? But at the same time, like, why the fucker is Google trying to handhold the user? And also, since Android is like more of an open thing, why the fuck is Google trying to handhold people through that? Right? Like, iPhones I understand. iPhones I get. But Android? Really? Like, I don't get that at all. Like, what's the point? It just seems... It seems very disingenuous. Google... It's an excuse... Yes, they're just trying to have a bigger stranglehold on Android, basically. And they've already done that. I already talked about GMS and how it's pretty much infected the entire open Android ecosystem. Like, you need GMS to use some apps. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm glad that Google added the advanced flow. And just to hit it home, install unverified apps. Just to hit it home, this is how you install an unverified app on Mac. Like, you can't do this on an iPhone or an iPad. By the way, this is done on a MacBook. Because, you know, if Apple did not allow unverified apps to be installed on a MacBook, nobody would buy a Mac. I'm sorry. That's just the truth. So, first things first, you download the app, you double click it, then you go to privacy and security, you find the random ass open anyway dialog, then you click open anyway, then you have to scan your fingerprint, and then you have to acknowledge that the app is unsafe to open, and then you open the app. You can see how it's very complicated, right? So I assume what Google is gonna do is add something just like that. That's pretty much what Google is gonna do at this point. Just add that type of unverified app installation and call it a day. Just basically this very fucking convoluted thing that'll just make it really hard for the average user to install things. Because right now, when you try and install an app on an Android device, all you need to do is just flick a toggle in settings and that's it. That's all you need to do. So the advanced flow is definitely something that is good, right? It'll make things harder for scammers to scam, but at the same time, like, I feel like the user is more or less responsible for things in the store. It might just be like Google's not trying to get sued. You know, they don't want to get a lawsuit on their ass, but yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's just a whole clusterfuck, like Hika says. It's a scary world out there, my friends. It's a scary world in the realm of cybersecurity. I feel like the biggest, I remember F-Droid made a statement. And if you don't know what F-Droid is, it's just like it's just an open source Android app. So let me see. F-Droid news. Here we go. Yeah, so they published a blog post about F-Droid and Google's bullshit. And they talked about like how Google is saying really dumbass things. And I love how they always go to the fucking EU for this type of shit, because like they're the only people that will fix it. They stand to install an unverified app, so Google employees get to laugh at a user when a scam app gets installed. That's diabolical. Hell no, man. I mean, that would be an Apple thing, if anything, because, you know, Google phones, any Android devices don't have any fucking good facial scanning. It's terrible. I think most face scanning hardware on Android and software too is so shit. It's just bad. I don't understand. Yeah. Oh, also, one thing, I just saw this. How many F-Droid users are there? We don't know because we don't track users. Right? All of the apps I make as well, or at least I try and maintain, I don't track anything. I don't care. I don't care who's using my fucking apps. People have told me like, hey, you probably should add some like telemetry. I'm like, I don't care. Like, yeah, use the test flight, go ahead, but I just don't give a fuck as to who's using my app because it's open. You could use it, and I don't want to collect any data on you. I don't need your data. I don't want your data. I just want to make an app for myself, and you can use it. That's literally it. Like, why the fuck do I need telemetry just to see how many people are using my shit? Who cares? You know what I'm saying? What's my app? I have quite a few on iOS. It's on my website if you want to check it out. But yeah, I have like I've worked on a bunch of app dev before, you know, I started med school. So yeah. I don't really want to show it right now, but that's because it's fucking late. But yeah, it's just like Google is a slimy fucking company in this case. It's like it's always in the background, just scheming. You know, like, ooh, can we get the sorry, can we get the ads? You know, can we get the lockdown applications? You know, we can centralize control. We could push all the security bug fixes and not have and tell open source maintainers to fix the shit, you know? Yeah. Google plus Amazon unholy matrimony. Oh my god, speaking of like unholy matrimony, like, you know how the game companies merge, like Bethesda and Activision are just now part of Xbox and Microsoft? Like, those are the types of mergers that are just like really scary for the entire gaming sphere, because it's just like, bro, like, what the fuck do you do in that case? You know what I'm saying? Oh my god. But yeah. Hey Tay, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. And just for the stream, I know this person, so that's why I'm not like, oh, how are you? How are you doing? Welcome, how are you doing? Pray, yeah. No, it's happened. It's happened. Like, Activision, Bethesda, Xbox, they all merged together. Xbox just fucking swallowed them up like, oh, hey, I'm gonna eat you today. Oh, you're Call of Duty? Yeah, that's me now. You're Overwatch? Yeah, that's owned by me now. Pirate Software? He's owned by me now. I'm sorry, I had to make that joke. Fucking, I work at Blizzard for like 50 years. Fuck off. Alright. Hey Taylor, how you doing? Just passing by. It's 1:30 in the morning. I'll wake up at 4 hours. Hope you have an amazing stream. But thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, let me close out. Dude, I feel like this is the most... I feel like this is the most tabs we've ever opened for a stream. Like, there are... I think it's because usually I look at Twitter. And now I'm actually looking at articles and shit to gather all this information. And it's just like, yeah, here you go. Here's all the shit. Like, oh my gosh. But yeah, this is the... That is what happens with Android and Google. There's another topic I could talk about. But the question is, should I talk about it? Because I did put it in the thumbnail, but I don't want to talk... I'm not sure if I should call it for the night, or if I should yap about the topic for a bit. You know what? Fuck it. We're gonna yap about it, okay? Oh, fuck. My thing isn't showing. Shit. Okay, here we go. AI browsers. This is something I wanted to cover a couple weeks ago, but again, I got sick because kids exist. Damn, kids getting people sick. But let's talk about AI browsers. Okay, the two most popular browsers. Perplexity. Comet. Have you guys heard of these two? These are two very, very popular browsers that are said to have AI magic in them. Let's look at them. Okay, let's look at these browsers. And you might be wondering, why don't I have them installed on my computer? Aren't I the AI person, the LLM VTuber? Not anymore, really, but... Okay. The reason why is because A, it's Mac only for ChatGPT, so I can't fucking use it on this stream unless I capture card my Mac, which I don't want to do tonight. Maybe we'll try it out a different day. I'd be happy to. But yeah, so let's look at ChatGPT Atlas. What is it? Let me find the product page because I do not want to read that fucking blog post. Here we go. Download on Mac OS. Only available on Mac OS. Bring ChatGPT with you across the web for instant answers, smart suggestions, and help with tasks. All with privacy settings you can control. Unlock the web with ChatGPT by your side. Open a ChatGPT sidebar in any window and ask it shit. Picks up where you left off. They show a fucking picture of ChatGPT. Takes action for you. In agent mode, ChatGPT interacts with sites for you. Assists you when you need it. It has a way to edit stuff. Okay. You're in control. Okay. And then that's pretty much it. It's literally just ChatGPT inside a browser. It's literally just ChatGPT inside a Chromium browser. That's it. Can it click all the ads for me? Wait, there is a, fuck, what is it called? Ad block, uBlock. Oh, it's called ad nauseum. I know what it's called. Ad nauseum. Hold on. Yeah. This is there's actually an extension that does this, that clicks all of the ads for you. Yeah. I thought you knew about this. That's why you asked about it. Yeah, so what ad nauseum is, it's literally a fork of uBlock Origin that clicks ads for you, like every ad, so it just confuses corporations as to what you want. It's so stupid. I don't know if I'd actually use this, but yeah, that's literally what it is. So yes, there is a thing that will click the ads for you. It's not ChatGPT, but Jesus Christ. Okay, so that's GPT Atlas. Let's look at Perplexity Comet. Okay, here we go. So this is Perplexity Comet. I imagine it's gonna be the same kind of ad more and more. It might, I don't know. But yeah, so the browser that works for you. I love how they just push this narrative like, oh my god, it's the browser that helps you out. It's a very helpful browser. Brother. Okay, I'll say that later. Let's just look at this. So do anything with comment. AI that understands. How are different news outlets covering this? AI that organizes. It organizes your tabs for you. It builds websites for you for some reason. It emails for you. It creates a study plan for you. It helps you shop. So this is the exact same fucking thing as ChatGPT Atlas. It is literally the same thing. Bruh. Is Comet free? We will always provide a free version of Perplexity, and that includes Comet. How do I install Comet? Install everything with one click. Can I download this? It is used for Windows 10 only. Why is it that Comet is used for only... Oh, wait, no. Maybe it's for everything. Maybe it's just trying to detect. But, yeah, that's Comet. It's the exact same fucking thing as GPT Atlas. Brother. Okay. Let me give my thoughts here, because... First of all of these browsers are based on Chromium. And for those of you who don't know, Chromium is the #1 open source browser engine / base, we call it a base, that is used for building a browser. For example, Microsoft Edge is Chromium. Vivaldi is Chromium. Brave is Chromium. What else? There's also the new kid on the block, Helium, is Chromium. There are a lot of Chromium-based browsers out there. In fact, it's probably like 90% of the market share. And of course, Google Chrome is Chromium, right? Okay. Now there's also... So, yes. Then there's also like Firefox and Safari, which are based on different engines. But that's what it is. So Chromium is the base of these browsers. Number 2 is that now we add AI into the mix. In this case, it's ChatGPT or Perplexity. I wouldn't be surprised if Claude ever comes into the mix, if this ever takes off. Users install ChatGPT browsers, global warming goes brr. What do you think? It's not already going brr with all the fucking servers out there? Bro, like, AI is like one contributor. The entire internet is a huge one. Alright, so AI is in the mix now. Now, for those of you who don't know, there's a certain thing called browser extensions. You know, the things you add to your browser that just, like, you know, extend the functionality of it. Let's look at the features of this browser. Let's look at GPT. Okay? So we have GPT on the side. ChatGPT here, that doesn't matter. Agent mode to take action for you on websites. Predictive text AI assistance for something. And that's it. So my question is, why in the ever-loving shit couldn't this just be a browser extension? What's the point? What's the point of making a brand new app that runs Chromium anyway? You know, like, it's still running Chrome. Why not just make a Chrome extension? Right? Like, it's actually a head scratcher because a Chrome extension would make a lot more sense for this type of stuff. Chrome extension, Firefox extension, whatever. Therefore, it supports every browser out there. And I feel like all of these features are possible with just a Chrome extension and the browser extension API. You just install it, you sign to ChatGPT, and that's it. That's all you gotta do. Same with Perplexity, right? It's the exact same thing. Why do we need a full-fledged fucking... I don't get it. I don't know. Like, listen. You guys know that I talk about Linux in such a way like I just don't give a fuck about what OS I use. I give a huge fuck as to what browser I use for some reason. Like, what I want for in a browser is simple. No clutter. One page. Or, like, basically, no BS homepage. Right? Just a search bar. Maybe some history. And then that's it. Super simple. Wouldn't be surprised if they had to work around some of the browser security to implement their browsers pro. I wouldn't be surprised either. That probably is the reason why they hard forked it. It's like with Brave, right? They made like a full privacy version of Chrome that could be achieved through a Chrome extension. At least used to be achieved by a Chrome extension, but it's just a browser in and of itself. So yeah. We also got an ad coming up, so we'll just run through that ad. But yeah, like, browsers in general are just like their own fucking animal in terms of what do you choose. Like, people, like, you see all these minimalistic browsers. Like, right now on Windows, I'm using Zen. I'm gonna switch to Brave on my Windows computer because fucking Zen is acting like a piece of crap nowadays, but yeah, it's just like I want browsers to become more simple, right? I want them to become more simple. I want it to become easier to understand for everyone. I don't think people like the enshittification of browsers. It doesn't make any sense to me. So let me just rest my throat for a second. But yeah. Yeah, what do you guys think about your browser? Like, do you think all of like the extra features, you know, make any sense? 'Cause I personally don't. I don't really see the reason as to why. I just want to be able to browse the internet without any problems, and that's it. Can't imagine what kind of creative security vulnerabilities can be implemented with AI browsers. You ask ChatGPT, you fucking have an injection in the agent mode where you just ask him like, hey, yo, can you like, you know, go to this malicious website for me and just be like, this? My GPU stutters every time I open a new window on Chrome. Okay, I have an idea for a stream, or maybe a video or something. Nah, we'll do it a stream. I'll show you guys how to set up Brave browser, because I find that Brave is like the best browser to use. Like it exists. I personally believe Brave is my favorite browser, and it gets rid of all of the bullshit from Google Chrome, but you just gotta tweak it a lot so that it doesn't have all of its own crypto and AI bullshit in there to make it just like a very lean and privacy focused browser, which is really nice. So yeah, maybe I'll make a stream on how to set up a browser, because maybe I'll just do it, you know, when I'm trying to migrate from Zen, which is nice. Nevertheless. So yeah, that's the entire AI browser stuff. And in a future stream, I will definitely try out one of these browsers. Maybe we'll try Comet, right? Because it's for Windows. It is just a bit late now, so I'm not going to do it now. But you know, let's just see. What? Oh, wait, I'm not showing it. Okay, what's this showing? Ask ChatGPT. A browser with ChatGPT in it. Okay, it's going to a website. Unlock the web with ChatGPT by your side. Ask ChatGPT. Dude, like, seriously. For example, with like I'm gonna pause this. With like the email prediction, right? Google already has predictive text in Gmail. And I think you could also use Gemini for it as well. It's in the app. And also, why not just use the ChatGPT app rather than just having it inline? Or why not have a Chrome extension? I don't know. That's just me, right? That's just what I think should happen. But yeah, what do you guys think? I mean, I've seen your chat's already like, you're probably bypassing browser security, gonna be more vulnerabilities, more nonsense. I don't know, I'm thinking the same, right? I'm thinking that something had to be done. November 4, 2025. Wait, what? That's a thing. Amazon has told Perplexity to get its agentic browser out of its online store. The companies both confirmed publicly on Tuesday. Wait, let me look this up. Amazon, Perplexity, Comet. Wait a minute. Yo, there's no fucking way. Hey, Gio, how you doing? Amazon cease and desist letter to Perplexity. No way. Wait, what? No. There's a fucking cease and desist. Okay, I want to look at this. Sorry, I want to look at. I am dead from 8 hours straight of drawing. My condolences, my good sir. My condolences. You should draw more of me. I'm very drawable, as you know. Stalk your fucking streams. You're drawing my art. Okay. So, Perplexity AI accused Amazon of bullying on Tuesday after it received a letter from the e-commerce giant demanding it prevents people from using an artificial intelligence browser Comet to make purchases on their behalf. Bullying is crazy. Perplexity said it could ask Comet Assistant to find items and make purchases on Amazon that they love this experience. Yeah, sure, buddy. Okay. But Perplexity said it received an aggressive legal threat demanding to put a stop to that practice. So they sent a cease and desist letter, accusing the company of committing computer fraud by failing to disclose when its AI agents take actions for users on the e-commerce platform. As it is already clear, Amazon's prior efforts and communications with Perplexity, they do not have authorizations to access Amazon's store user accounts or details using its disguised or obscure common AI agents. Amazon has already taken recent steps to prevent external agents from crawling its website. Amazon should love this. Easier shopping means more transaction happy customers, but Amazon doesn't care. Okay, they're more interested in serving you ad sponsor results. Third-party shopping agents do not operate openly and respect service provider decisions. The company said Perplexity wasn't operating transparently, as expanding the company to gain unauthorized access. Okay. Dude, what the fuck? That is insane. Holy shit. Perplexity said Jeff Bezos dunked their head in a toilet and gave them a swirly. Bro, accusing them of bullying is crazy. I think Amazon is in the right here. Like, you already got people having scams about Amazon, like buying products that are scams. What's to say that Perplexity is just gonna automate the process? You know what I'm saying? Oh my god, what the actual hell? Dude, that is crazy. Yeah, okay, Amazon's in the right here. Perplexity is fucking stupid. Like, why did they not think this would happen? I'm sorry, but like, actually, I didn't even think it would happen. I didn't even think they would be this mad about this, but dude, like, having AI crawl a website like that and then purchase stuff for you that's not a good look, because you don't want fucking random agents buying shit for you. You know what I'm saying? Why the hell would you bypass just showing you the product and skip straight to auto buy? I feel like it's more like a suggestion-based thing, so it's like you ask Perplexity, like, hey, what are these products I could buy? Shows you the product, and then it clicks in and auto buys it for you. But like, why would you do that when you could just use Amazon normally? I don't know. Like, I feel like these agent things are just kind of a lot of smoke and mirrors. But yeah, thanks, Mephi, for bringing that up. That is fucking insane. Amazon sues Perplexity over shopping tool. Wow. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Bullying is not innovation. Oh my god. Dude, how fucking petulant do you have to be to write a blog post about this nonsense, bro? Oh my. A threat to user choice? There is no users making choices. Your users aren't making choices. Bro. Oh man. Like, it's a different story asking ChatGPT, like, what do you think about an Amazon listing versus having it buy stuff for you. You know what I'm saying? Oh my fucking god, dude. That is just wow. Wow. Let's okay, fine. Let's just write this down, all right? So, Amazon e-commerce uses people's money, right? Perplexity, AI, agentic, which means it's basically tool calling, automation, right? Those are basically the taglines for these two companies. Combine them together, you basically get auto buying, like Night Stabber just said. Okay, so auto buying, right? This, with your money, is not good. Do not automate things that'll buy stuff from your bank account or handle sensitive information. In fact, I would never trust an AI agent to modify things on my computer. It's like, why would you do that? I don't want anything. I don't want an agent touching my computer, let alone modifying anything. Code is a different story, right? That's fine. I can revert that. I use GitHub and Git. I can revert that just fine. But using your purchases, auto-managing computer, that's stuff I want to keep AI away from. Fuck no. Get that shit away from my PC. It's like fucking Windows Copilot. Like, why the hell do I need that shit in here? I'm surprised banks, Visa, MasterCard don't flip the table. Man, Visa and MasterCard are flipping on fucking random ass game purchases that people can buy out of their own will, and they aren't flipping about this. It's actually fucking hypocritical as shit, but that's a story for another day. But yeah. So Amazon is like, if, let's say, right, somebody gets scammed via Perplexity, who's responsible, Perplexity or Amazon? It's gonna be Amazon. Like, Amazon is the one that's gonna get sued if Perplexity fucks up. So Amazon has just basically prevented this by telling Perplexity, like, hey, don't use your auto buying shit on our site. And I feel like Amazon's well within its rights to do that. And I feel like it's a good idea to do so. And I feel like more companies should take suit because, I don't know, anything sensitive should not be managed by an AI. Anything. Because there is a huge margin of error in this case. So yeah. I was looking up crap about how motherboards handle RAID using AI and search. What? I can tell it was off because it was using top web search results from which were posts from years ago. Like, most people don't have the mental capacity to understand that nuance. No, they don't. Like, a lot of people when it comes to PCs, probably a lot of people in this chat, and no offense to anybody, right? I'm a fucking I'm a fucking tech nerd. That's just me. But a lot of people aren't. A lot of people in the chat just aren't like that with tech. They want things to just work, and that makes a lot of sense, right? Like, that's how people buy PCs. They're like, oh, I just want a PC that works for me. You know, I don't want to build it. I don't want to do any of that shit. I just want to buy a pre-built, and that's perfectly fine. Or I want to buy a laptop, something that just makes my stuff work. People buy MacBooks for this reason. And so people really don't care. The general consumer does not give a shit. It's like with the Steam stuff, right? The OS is modifiable. The system is actually a PC. Who gives a shit, right? And average consumers can just want to buy something to play their games on. It's the same with like everything. You need to promote for the average consumer. And in this case, like, who's going to want to use the browser? I don't understand. I feel like a browser extension would make more sense, honestly. But yeah, that's just me. I asked ChatGPT to find some niche info and start hallucinating like Llama 1. Of course it would. I asked ChatGPT to like look at my lore site like very often. For those who don't know my Monomy's lore, right here, I got some new art pieces that I can put up. Actually, Tay was just here. I'll show you guys her art piece in a bit. But yeah, that's my website for Monomy's lore, and I just feed that to ChatGPT whenever I just need to ask it a question, like, oh, does this thing fit her, etc., etc. And I usually, you know, feel it out first, see like things like that. But I've always talked about how to use AI properly versus just spamming it like a fucking idiot. 404, really? Huh? Nah. There's no way that's 404. What? Man. Okay, I'll fix it. Join my Discord. If you guys want to see it. There we go. Join my Discord if you guys want to see the website, and I will fix that because I recently just migrated my site, and I guess the page did not build. What the fuck? But yeah, that's weird. Okay. It used to work it literally worked fine on the last build. I have to look into the Astro side and see like why is it breaking like that. Maybe it's because I added the redirect and now it just really hates me for some reason, but okay. Anyways, okay. So yeah, it's just that Perplexity fucking yeah, I feel like they were in the wrong. But yeah, I feel like I am kind of starting to lose a bit of steam here. So, and it's also getting late. Again, I'm gonna be sure to chat. I got my shift tomorrow. I got my shift in the afternoon tomorrow. So for all of you guys that just joined, let me just explain a few bits of housekeeping that I explained at the beginning of the stream. First thing is that I'm going on my ED rotation now, which means that I'm gonna be in a shift-based schedule. So sometimes I might have time to stream on Friday. No. This is not regular person hours. Like sometimes I'm working from like 6 to fucking midnight. Sorry, maybe like 4 to midnight. Those are my hours at some days. And other days I'm working like 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. So it just depends on the day. I literally have a schedule as to when I'm attending the shift. It is insane. But regular-ish. That is it's just impossible. It's just insanity to me. But yeah, also let me look up the art that was posted to me because Taylor made a really nice art piece. Gio, thank you. It's gonna be fun. It's a low stakes rotation for me. I don't have to study as well, so I'm gonna have like a lot of free time to just do whatever I want, which is great in my opinion, right? So yeah, you get the chance of sunlight. I do get sunlight. Yeah, I will get sunlight after every shift for the most part because I'm either in the afternoon or in the evening. the one thing I fucking hate about the winter is that it gets dark at like 5 p.m. I hate it. I don't like it at all. Why does it suck? Okay, Hika, you're a radiologist. Shush. I want it to become darker later, man. I don't care if it's dark like at the crack of fucking dawn. I'm not up then, man. Fuck that. I hate it. I want it to be light out at like 6 when I can actually go outside and do shit when there's still sunshine, rather than it being fucking dark as hell at like 5 p.m, bro. It's gonna just get darker and darker as the days go on too, man. The commute home's gonna suck. But yeah, so that's gonna be my schedule for like the next month. So depending on the day, right? During the week, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to stream Fridays. Definitely a Saturday is probably the best day for me to stream. Maybe Sundays, depending on like when I'm supposed to go in on Monday, and again depending on Friday when I get off. So yeah, and if I do have a stream on Friday, I'm probably gonna stream a bit later, like maybe 9:45, 10, you know. So yeah, we're gonna play it by ear for sure. We're gonna see like what fits the best. Yeah, I feel like I should just use the Twitch scheduling feature, and again, as always, my Discord is the and my Twitter are the best 2 places to see like where my streams are, for that reason. And again, thanks you guys for like bearing with my VS Code setup here. I usually use an iPad for all of you regulars out there, but I used VS Code today. Oh, I'm not done yet. Sorry, I'm just covering a bit of housekeeping. I'm just gonna show a bit of art. Just stay here. We will raid someone, so just stay in the stream. But I'm just doing a bit of housekeeping for now. So yeah, the main thing with, again, I talked about this at the beginning of the stream, but I went bouldering on Friday and my forearms got so fucked. It just fucking hurts. So I cannot write anything at the moment. And typing is like the best thing I can do. So I appreciate you guys for going through my schizo-ass VS Code posts and diagrams. This is not normal for me, by the way, just saying. So yeah. And other things, I just want to show you guys the art piece. Caleb just popped by here, but she also drew some really beautiful art for me, and I just want to show it on stream. So I commissioned this, and this is basically Monomi, you know, nice little Monomi piece. Also, Gio also drew something beautiful for me if Gio wants to be featured on my oh, this is Hika from the drug stream from last week. This was good. Where's Gio's fucking... Yeah, this is Gio's artwork that I suggested. This was so funny. I love this. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Make that. But yeah, those are the art pieces. Again, once I get the Monomi website back up and running, there will be a gallery for the there will be a gallery for her, and I'm gonna upload all the images to there, and also all the animations. I'll probably just do that as like downtime, because again, I don't gotta study, yay. Other than like my cumulative material, which I'm so happy about, because I actually needed a break. Like last week, I was kind of going through it, man. Oh my god, like I had my exam this week, and it was just so much fucking stress. Yeah, I gotta take care of myself more. Like I know when I need to take care of myself for sure. I don't have that problem where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just sacrifice myself. No, I don't do that. But it's like, it's hard to find time to take care of yourself when you're just running around all over the place like 24/7. And it's just, I'm very glad. Again, this is gonna sound sappy, but I'm like very glad for you guys, because I'm able to talk about my frustrations. I'm able to, you know, just take my mind off of things, yap about random shit that I found on the internet, and that's pretty much it. So you guys are great. You guys are awesome. For all of you guys that join the stream, chill out, chat, hang out, you guys mean a lot more to me than you might think. Yeah, but yeah, I'm more than happy to be transparent about things that are going on in my life with you, because otherwise, like, it kind of is impossible in that sense. So yeah, as always, it is midnight and I gotta sleep soon, so I'm gonna call it for the day. Let's find somebody to raid right now. And again, as always, my streams are best found on Twitter. So if you want to look at my socials, all of that's there. My Discord is the best place to chat with me. And I also do voice chats in Discord pretty often. So feel free to chat with me there at any time, ping me, whatever. And that's pretty much it. So let's find someone to raid real quick. Soma is like, geez, I've been up for that long. Look. All right, let's see in the software and game dev category if somebody is streaming. I usually like rating VTubers in the software category. Oh, wow. I'm pretty up there. Goddamn. I see myself. Who is this? This person looks cool. Wait, what's this channel? Even Wonders. Who are you? No pre-roll ads is good. Okay, there's one that's good. Or game dev. Which music thing is interesting? Okay. Fuck it. What is this person making? So do you guys want to see game dev or do you guys want to see games? That's kind of that's kind of a funny question, no? Let's see what Soma's doing. Oh fuck. See, I always get decision paralysis when rating people because it's like a little hard to find some people. Okay, fuck it. Yeah. Well, okay, Shrug. Okay, let's rate Soma because I think you guys probably need some like decompression. All right. If you guys don't know Soma, he's from Nexus. He's one of Rixie's friends. So yeah. But yeah, again, thank you guys so much for watching. Y'all have been great. Again, I will edit these as much as I can and upload them on YouTube Shorts. As always, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you guys want to see those. All of my VODs are archived there. Feel free to watch Twitter, Twitch, and Discord for my schedule, because Discord's the best place to check. And feel free to talk with me at any time. I'm very happy to answer any questions that you might have, provided that they're not too personal. That's pretty much it. So have a great rest of the day. Hopefully you guys have a great day at work, etc. And hopefully I'm not dead after my shift. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye!